Microphone check. Everybody get ready. We're getting ready to have an awesome show. We're excited.
Microphone check.
Uh-oh.
Microphone
I
check.
think I got some feedback here. We're getting ready to have an awesome show. I'm glad you guys are here. Welcome to another episode of Ask a Black Man Anything. Let's get this going. Hold on one second, everybody. I got something for you.
Oh well. They don't want me on the show, so I'll stay backstage and
you
talk
on?
all my trash. I'll talk all my trash in the backstage and tell them how bad they are, and people texting
we
me,
on the air?
asking me, "Oh, can I be the producer?" Ma'am, go sit down.
And now you go back on mute.
No, don't put me on mute. No. Somebody actually did text me and say, can I be the producer? I'm like, man, if you want to be the producer of this show, you're welcome to come and talk to the actual producers and see what they say.
Oh,
That's my statement. And I'm
real
sticking
talk?
to it.
For real, for real?
Yep, that's exactly what she said. And she's been a fan of the show since since inception, since way back Leah. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
Leah from our clubhouse.
Send your resume to info at
Questions at AABMA.live. Leah, I know you're watching. So they said send your resume.
I guess she watching and say, I can do better than that.
I mean, it's a lot. You just can't be on camera. But this is what you like to do though, Colin, right?
Oh yeah,
This is your lane, right, Colin?
this is indeed my lane.
Hey. South by Southwest.
Starts tomorrow.
Somebody give me an echo. Somebody's echoing.
Probably soon. Yep. Welcome to tonight's episode, everybody. Glad to have you all here. Should be another good one.
Well, I tell you what, the converse. Have you seen my Instagram at all this week?
I haven't even been, man. I haven't been on Instagram probably like the last 2-3 days.
Oh man, when I tell you, Instagram has been on absolute fire.
What's been going on?
So I posted this same clip on Instagram, and man, crazy, whack funky. Good evening. Yeah. Mr. Muhammad.
What's going on? What's the deal? How y'all doing?
Oh man, it's all good. Welcome everybody. Welcome. So so I posted it on Instagram, and boy, I tell you what, the haters got the hating. I mean, when I tell you they went ham on me on this clip, good movie. I could not wait for, and I was actually hoping that Daryl would be able to pop in. But man, because we had a great show last week. So if you guys didn't get an opportunity to catch last week's show, Daryl DB is back. He is back in the fold. He explained why he had been missing out. So by all means, make sure you check out last week's episode to find out what happened to Daryl, where he's been and what he's been doing. So we will we'll be happy to let you all get in on that. And I was just telling the fellas just a second ago, the show that we're going to bring to you guys tonight. We literally every week scour social media and we look for amazing content just to bring to kind of piggyback on, to give our opinions on, because here we are a group of black men and you literally can ask us anything. And hypergamy is something that a lot of people want to have the conversation of. Not only hypergamy, but dating, relationships, and money and egos, and frail egos and fragile egos, and all of that. Insecurities, all of those things are wrapped in one, and you'll be able to find all of that right here tonight. So welcome everybody to the most amazing show here on Thursday nights, Ask a Black Man Anything. I am honored that you all are able to join us tonight. And so if you would take a moment and share this with your friends on your social media pages, just click the share link and then post it to your Facebook page. I'll be honored to see it so I can go on and comment and like it and all that good stuff. We are what's up, Wes? We are going to bring you guys an amazing show, because you'll find that there's no other show like this anywhere. No other show called Ask a Black Man Anything that gives you honest feedback. Now you might not like what you hear, but that's okay, right? We don't. It's not really about whether or not you love what you hear, right? Because we don't have to always agree. And I think that's something that a lot of people conflate. You don't have to agree on everything. And I'll just be the first to tell you that West was absolutely simping this week, and he had his lightsaber out big. Oh my God, boy, I couldn't wait to see you today, West. Woo! You getting
I know it.
all the smoke, sir.
I know it. I know it. I already know it.
You're going to get all the smoke, all of it. So please believe I am coming for your neck. So I hope you are ready to defend your crown. Because I am at it. Like, anyways, if you guys had not noticed, we band of these gentlemen literally come here every Thursday, and we talk about literally so many things. And I want to introduce the guys here real quick. The amazing gentlemen that sit with me, so they can kind of tell you a little bit about their background, and then we'll get right into tonight's episode 31. Hey, you know why today's a great episode? I was born on the 31st. I just thought about that. So, Mr. West, I'm coming for your neck. So go ahead and tell us where you're from.
Wes Stewart from Louisiana, but currently residing in Los Angeles. Shaheed, it is on you. Well, Artistic IQ on all social media platforms. All right, brother.
Yeah, man. Shaheed Muhammad, just a black man from Los Angeles. Colin, it's on you.
Colin Hardiman, Houston, Texas. And yeah, excited for tonight's show. So let's get it.
Before I go there, is Mr. Rawls in the background, or is he popping in a second?
Yeah, I don't know, but I want to be like Shaheed when I grow up.
Shaheed, you want to be tall?
I want to be. I want to be taller.
Okay. So, man, we got to get your lightsaber buddy. Call Robert so he can be Captain Saberho with you tonight.
Because this nigga Shan drinking water and everything.
Absolutely, Shan. Look. Shan has his hand on his leg and he ready. Shannon Rawls, man, welcome, sir.
What's happening, y'all? Is the audio good?
Audio's great.
This is Mr. Shannon Rawls coming from Los Angeles, California. 49-year-old, twice married, twice divorced brother who's friends with his exes, who teaches entrepreneurship, gives advice on relationships because I am a self-proclaimed expert in both since I've been heavily doing both for the last 30 years. I try to teach young men how to be better men because I failed to be the best man that I can be. And I don't want the young men to make the same mistakes that I made when I was in my 20s and 30s. And so I found my way over here from Facebook and Instagram to YouTube to try to give the game that nobody gave me. Appreciate being here tonight. We got a great conversation to have. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Chris, it's on you, boss.
Question for you, Shan. Before I do that, do you believe? Actually, for everybody, do you all believe if we fix the black man? Because Shan, you just talked about it. You give people, give men the game, right? Do you believe that if the black man is fixed, then our communities and relationships are fixed?
No, women need to be fixed, not men.
Interesting. Okay, Shaheed.
I think so. Shit. Oh, I think it takes. I think it takes both. I think we all need to be fixed, men, women, children alike. You know what I mean? It takes an equal effort. But I mean, for me, as a black man, I pride myself on being on the front line. So if you fix the front line, everything behind will fall in place.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a yes. It's
Yeah,
a
I
family
mean,
yes.
I think I think everybody plays a part. I just can't agree with, like, as a black man, I have to take accountability for, because when I like, for example, as a black man, the women ain't out here killing each other. Like, I know the killers, I know the drug pushers, I know all that. The women have nothing to do with that. So all that shit takes, when we talk relationships, it's all full circle. Like, I'm looking at the whole picture of it. So I have to say, everybody, I just can't put that on women. I just can't.
Lightsaber. That's your name for the rest of the night. Matter of fact, we're gonna call you Captain Save 'em. So yeah, go ahead and
Hey man,
laugh, because
it is
I
what
don't
it
know if
is.
Shan saw your comment on my page, but
It is what
Captain
it
Save
is.
'em.
Now, look, I agree 100% with Shahid. I think it takes a village, and but you don't fix the village as a whole. You fix the village one by one, individual by individual, piece by piece, brick by brick, and so that includes the whole gamut from education to economics to our personal relationships and love and how we treat one another in those specific relationships, as well as just how we treat one another as brothers and sisters. So yeah, it's the whole thing, and we're all a little effed up in our own individual ways as individual people, but then even our segments, men, where we have things that we have challenges we need to conquer. Women have their challenges they need to conquer, and yeah, and with that comes the babies. So I'm with Shahid 1,000%.
Mr. Hardeman, it's on you, good sir. Your thoughts?
You got to repeat the question again.
Sure. Do you believe that if we fix the black man, because Shan was saying that he gives men the game, right? So
Young men.
intrinsically, that means that something is broken,
Oh
right?
yeah.
In the men, right? They don't know enough, so they got to be altered. Their minds got to be altered. So Shan is technically a yes, but we gonna leave that
Oh
alone.
no, it's not a yes.
no,
It's not a yes.
no, no.
I'll
I'm
elaborate.
just, I'm just,
I'll
I'm just, I'm
elaborate.
just picking at you, Shan.
So Shan,
Okay.
so let me ask you this, Shan: Are black
Mm.
men dependent on black women?
Say it again.
Are black men dependent on black women?
No. What do
So
you
how?
mean dependent?
So if we fix the woman, everything else is gonna fall in place, which makes the black man dependent on the black woman, right?
Well, so the thing is, intrinsically, based on the question, it's saying that the black community is flawed. So I'm speaking specifically, mainly on relationships, because I don't think the black community is flawed. So
Yeah,
Chris
so
said
I'm
that.
talking specifically about black relationships.
Yeah, I know. I figured you were. So that's what I'm saying. So with that said, but see, Shaheed went to murder rate. You know what I'm saying? And the murder rate for Black Americans in America was
I didn't go murder
9,000.
rate. I didn't say murder rate. I didn't say anything about murder rate.
Well, you said black people are killing, black men are killing each other,
Right.
and women have nothing to do with that. So that's the murder rate.
No,
So
it's not. But all right, good.
what else is that?
It's
Black
it's
on black crime, right? You're
internal.
talking about, right?
It's internal violence. It's seeing yourself in the mirror and hating what you see.
Oh, I got you. So Chris is talking about relationships. So with that said, my answer was to Chris saying no, it needs to be women, because I knew what Chris was talking about when he asked about relationships. But even with the black community base, now I'm back to you because you asked me a follow-up question, and that is dependent upon assuming that the black community as a whole is broken, and I don't believe so. We got 42 million black people in America. Only 9,000 was killed in homicide last year. So, and then of that, if you assume that 75% of it was black on black crime, the other 25% was
Okay,
other.
so let's stick to relationships. Is the
Okay.
Is
Because
the
at that
black
point,
man
I'm saying that the whole black community ain't broken to that point. But in the relationship side, ask your question now.
in the relationship side, is the black man's success in the relationship dependent on the woman?
Yeah, we depend on each other.
So
Absolutely.
how can we just put it on the women?
Because there's far more black men who are ready for a great relationship, marriage minded, than there are black women. There are far more black
How?
men who are ready to lead in relationships in the way that women need them or want them or require them for us to have a successful community
Are you
than there
saying
are women
are,
that's willing to be led. Go ahead.
how is that possible when there are more black women than there are black men?
Wait, say it. What is that? What is you talking about per capita? There's only 2 million more black women than men.
Right. So how can we say there are more black men ready to do something when they're like you're saying by percentage based?
Mm-hmm.
With that,
Because the reality is there's more black men in America than there is black women. You know that, right?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's more black men walking in the United States of America than there are black women by number. There's more men on the planet than there are women.
Oh,
I don't
ooh,
think that's
ooh.
accurate. But go. Yeah, I don't think that's
You
accurate.
don't. You don't
Okay.
have to believe it. So
So
when you look it
so
up, then you could come back and say, "My bad, Shan. I just learned something."
all
So
right. So let's dive into it real quick. Colin, what's your answer on the question? Do you believe that if you fix the black man, that the communities, the cities, relationships will be better?
So what
I
are we
believe,
talking
yeah,
about? Like, how are we talking about relationships? Are we talking
yeah,
about
see, Chris, you changed the question now.
Okay. Do you believe that if you fix the black man, relationships will be better?
Okay, there you go.
black relationships?
Black, yes, 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 yes. Colin.
I believe so. Because I'm always vocal about that. Because, like I said, I don't argue with women. What I do is hold men accountable. So, when there are men are in violation and misabusing the power that they have in relationships, if they're misusing and misabusing that, then that can lead to issues that we're facing today. So, absolutely, the things that are going on today, it's up to us men to put our foot down and stop all this nonsense that's occurring. But at the same time, we got to hold each other accountable and make sure we're not in violation, entertaining 10 women when we got a whole, family and wife at home and things like that. So, absolutely, yes, I believe so.
That's a whole nother can of worms I don't want to get into. But gentlemen, thank you for your answers. Um,
What do
I
you believe,
think
Chris?
I'm about
Since
to.
I believe that it's incumbent upon women to be reprogrammed the most, more so than men, and
Ooh,
because we're talking
Wow.
about see, I talk about percentages, and so what a lot of times, even the answers like that Colin just gave, it speaks to niggas ain't shit, right? But the niggas that ain't shit is only like 18% of the niggas ain't shit.
That's
50% of them
definitely
are ready.
what I'm. That's definitely what I'm not saying.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
No,
that.
but that's what it's inferring because when you say because we're talking about a small percentage of black men in America that's problematic, which is the ones that I'm trying to help, right? The ones
I'm
that's
not.
already
I'm not
broken.
talking about them. I'm
So,
talking about
well,
the.
who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the men that are empowered to do something. So everyone seems to be going after the high value men. And then the average man ain't getting looked over. So I'm talking about the average and the high value, terms we
What
use.
does the average and the high value man need to do that they're not doing right?
So that's what I'm saying is we got to be the ones to correct the wrong in the community. So
What?
what was it?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
So all the bad actors that are out there. I don't got to go into the specifics, but all the stuff that's happening in the dating market right now. I mean, it's trash.
Hmm.
Even with the whole partnership, all that kind of stuff, and then the women leading the relationship and things like that. It's just like the men have to step up and put their foot down and say enough of this, like because it's the men that are the protectors of our community.
What
We are the
you
protectors
did?
of our community.
My question is, what are the majority of the not the bad actors? You said you're not speaking about them, right? That's what I mean by when people say niggas ain't shit. They actually talking about a small percentage of men that seems to represent a larger community. It's almost like the loud minority. But since that's not what you're talking about the average and the high value guys, right? The majority of black brothers that's out here in America. What are these brothers doing wrong, in your opinion, that they need to do right?
Well, the main thing I said was hold the violators accountable. So that's my stance: is
So
hold the
there's
ones
nothing
that
that they
are in
need to
violation accountable.
intrinsically change. You're saying there's nothing that they need to intrinsically change. They need to look elsewhere and hold them accountable for what they're not doing.
Oh no.
So be
So
clear.
we all have things we got to work on, and
Well,
I don't believe your stance as far as like the black community isn't messed up. I mean, we definitely have some traumas that we've been dealing with going back 400 plus years. You can't disregard that. That we are dealing with some mental issues. When the world is going through something, we're always going through twice as much or three times as much because we're already dealing with our mental issues. We don't get me started. Like from the economic standpoint, from just all across the board, we're lacking as a community, as a whole, as a culture. So, like when we went through this pandemic, we're going through things in twos because we also have an epidemic, and the epidemic is what we're going through right now: single parent households, systemic racism. So we always have something we can improve on. So I can't necessarily go into specifics of what, because it's just getting
no
too
problem.
granular.
If you can't, if you ever can come, just follow up with me later on whenever you
I'll follow
figure it
up
out.
with you.
Yeah.
So so hearing everybody's points, I understand your point, Shan, as to why you're saying that that women as a whole probably need to be what needs to be fixed first,
Not as
or
a whole, as a majority.
more so than men.
Oh
Um,
yes,
my
absolutely.
I'm just gonna give my answer, and then we're gonna I'm gonna bridge it into allow it to kind of bridge into exactly what we're talking about, because I think it literally goes hand in hand. Um, I do understand now, now that I've, kind of listened. My original thought was that that we need that the man needs to be fixed. But now that I think about it, by and large, it's not all men that are broken, um, and there are probably less upstanding, less niggas ain't shit than there are men who are doing the right things on a
A
consistent
whole
basis,
lot less.
Right.
right?
A
Um,
lot less.
so, with that being said, I want to bring in the conversation that we were talking about that literally has gone bananas this
Wait,
week.
but
I mean,
Chris, I didn't get a solid answer. It sounded like you danced around it. Are you saying if men ask yourself the question, and is it yes or a no?
Shane, I will say this because I just want to clarify. I'm not saying that men are the majority, but what I'm saying is I'm focusing on the man as far as like holding the men accountable.
Well, that's what I do.
Because
Yeah. I
you
agree.
can go around in circles and not get anything done. I mean, there's like all these podcasts going out that are, all women panel and things like that. And it's like, it's literally a whole 2 hour discussion and nothing is getting resolved. It's just circles and
Yep.
circles and circles. So it's just
Well,
like,
I don't. Oh, go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. Colin.
sometimes Colin, sometimes Colin, you're right. I got to get my directions right. Sometimes you're absolutely right that you can be just talking in circles.
so
So to
I'd
answer
rather
the question,
focus on the area where it's just like where things can get done, where action can actually
right.
happen. So that's why I
So
say I focus
I
on.
believe that since God created man first,
Hmm.
that the man is ultimately responsible. So whether we're right or wrong, I think that if we address and we fix what is not, like, if we stop tolerating the nonsense as men. So
Well,
yes, I think that my answer is yes. I think that men
so
should
Chris,
be air quote fixed.
in order to
Not, and I'm
fix,
not saying fixed like we're broken.
Just say it with your chest. I mean, what do
all
y'all?
right, right.
It sounds like everybody got a lot of word salad.
So
No, that's why I'm fixing it to say, very succinctly. I'm not saying that we're broken. I think that we're responsible, and as long as we step up to the plate and we are responsible, I'm not saying that women are not responsible at all. They have their things that they need to be responsible for as well. But I
So
think
you're
that
saying
if
if
we
we step
address
up to the
men,
plate, okay? So you're saying
Right.
if we as men, as a majority,
yep,
step up to the plate. Those are your words, and
yep,
do what?
So yeah, that's what I was going to ask real quick, Chris. In order to, this is why I can't it's hard for me to answer this question because first, in order for you to fix something, you have to identify what the problem is, right?
Okay.
So I can't, for me, when you say the black man, like I don't give a fuck about relationships. Fuck relationships, right? Just fixing, period. Like as a man, you should be wanting to stand up and be upright regardless of any type of relationship, just as a human being,
Agreed.
as a black man. So how can we how are we what in the context of a relationship, how are we identifying these problems? Like what are the problems only in the relationship? Like how can you identify these problems only in the relationship without it being just for the community as a whole?
Well, it's pretty. Go ahead, Chris.
So,
Or Shan,
you
whoever.
can't, no. So you can't really separate the two, but I was trying to just narrow it down just to get a quick intro, right? So we can all kind of be headed in the same direction, right? I didn't honestly, I really didn't expect it to kind of take the turn that I did. I just literally wanted to ask that one particular question to kind of allow it to drive us into our next segment, which
Well,
is the video. But
so
to
real
answer
quick,
to answer your question, yes, you have to talk about everything as a whole and not just one individual sector. But I was just trying to talk about that one sector in
I think
specific.
you can talk about it individually though, because you can point because these metrics can be pointed out and singled out. One, Colin just mentioned one of the biggest glaring ones, right? Single parent households, right?
Yep.
70% of it is women. What is the issue with that? Right now, we got the murder rates, we got joblessness, right? We got drugs and homelessness. We got all these can be talked about. I get it that they all kind of mesh over, kind of like the Olympic rings where they all cross over and touch each other. But you can speak on a specific ring. Another one is the divorce rate for those that did make it to marriage. For those that did jump the broom, bought a ring, said I love you until death do we part. Why are we at a 60%? You know, America's at a 50%, but the black community particularly is at a 60% divorce rate. Why? That's an issue. We could single out what's going on. Is there a communication issue? Is there expectations going into marriage that people aren't meeting? Do people believe in love, or are they looking at marriage as a duty? I think we can individualize it and figure out what it is. And then when it comes to those two, as an example, we could talk about dating, right? Is who pays for what, and then now it's 50-50. And before it was pay for everything, but today it's a 50-50 mindset. We can talk about stepfathers, you know, and men stepping up to be stepfathers, where 20 years ago men were championed to be a stepfather, and it was like, damn. But today stepfathers there's no autonomy in the house, where the dad can't even say shit to the step baby. You know, it's another man that's coming in the house and is FaceTiming his kids and is having. We could talk about these individual things and speak on it outside of our other problems, our macro issues. These are the micros I'm speaking on, but we can have a macro issue that we could talk about. So I think there is a way to do it, but I'm speaking specifically on the micros when Chris first asked the question on the relationship side. And that's why I'm saying it's incumbent upon women to have a reprogramming at this time. Based on what we've experienced over the last 2 decades, 20 years, women need to have more of a reprogramming than men. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it at that,
and
because I
so
know
we can
you
move on, but I'm just that just gets me. Why is it that women need? First of all, why is it that? Well, I won't get into the word reprogramming, but in any scenario, why is it solely that the women are the ones who need reprogramming? I mean, listen, the whole world has changed, so we should always be evolving on every level. And
Yes,
so
Clement.
if you say, well, I didn't even hear, but I'm sure it was
Clement Gray wrote threw another stat up there.
oh
I didn't think it was necessary. I knew that one, but he put it up there. But go ahead, I'm listening to you,
yeah,
Wes.
yeah, no. So I'm just wondering why women are the ones who need the reprogramming and not the men. And I would say
If I
this.
was to give that,
Let me just say this one last thing, and you could expound on
You
it.
know, Wes, you like to add one last thing a lot. I just want to say that.
I do. I know.
he be adding 5 last things.
Like you close worse than a Baptist preacher. I mean, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you to do like this. Write your question down before we get to that one last thing, because I want to segue I want to take this moment to segue right into the video. So if you were
Yeah,
Wait,
and
wait,
it
wait,
would
wait,
take me
wait.
a
Let me.
long time to answer
anywhere,
you, Wes.
say what?
Wait.
I was
I got
telling
you.
Wes
Got to let me.
it would take me a long time to answer. I have the answer for you, and I could give
Right.
it to you,
So
but
we're
it would
gonna
take
I
a
get
just
while.
want to say
write it
this.
down,
Well,
Wes.
Chris.
Put it in the
Wait,
back
wait, hold on,
channel.
wait.
No,
I want to say
Wes.
this.
Wes.
I have one point. I have a point to make. Hold
Please,
on.
please
We
get
were in the
that.
midst of it. Let me finish that thought. It's really simple. And now I've forgotten it. God damn it.
Exactly. That's why I told you to write it down.
It's
If
Robert
you
moment.
listen to me,
Oh man,
if you
This
listen
Robert
to
moment was
me,
brought to you by.
right. And this moment is brought to you by the Gray Beards Association. So if you've been anywhere close to social media, you have seen a 30-second clip that did not give any justification to the entire full-blown conversation that took place. And if you are the person that has vilified anybody for sharing this particular clip and then giving their opinion, and you know you're out there in social media land, you know you've been talking bad about people, right? You know, oh my God, these guys are, are intimidated by women's success. Lord have mercy. We're gonna play this clip for you. Let me know if you're ready. Boom, let's go.
fair use, fair use.
Threshold.
I don't care.
I'm the same way.
I don't care. Like I'm fighting. I literally do everything in my life so that I don't have to have that as a metric for you. And there's so much more. That's why I was like, the passion is way more important than the income. Like I don't care because if you start having my kids and I want you to be at home, the income is gone anyways. So who cares? Like I want you to do stuff that you enjoy, but like I'm not pressing about like, oh, you need to make 300, 400K a year. The amount of people that can even make that kind of income is so minuscule.
That's what realism is kicking in at.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like, hypergamy is real too. So like most like women date across and up social dominance hierarchies, and men date across and down. So as men rise up, you have nothing but more options. As women rise up, they have very smaller options. And also a lot of the things that get them to those points negate them. The guys that are in the same space,
They don't want that.
they don't want it because they're like, oh, you're combative and like you
Yes.
feel like you need to be a boss and all this other stuff. And like
You telling me what to do.
right. And I love you. And I think you might be great, et cetera, for somebody else, but you probably need a Robin.
It's crazy.
You don't need a Batman.
I actually had a woman tell me, she says, I got a good job. I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You right.
Right.
Like once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh,
and
shit.
And what it is these, and this is the thing. I'm not
Ooh,
blaming
the
women.
women are gonna hate him for that shit.
No,
Thing.
no, see, the
They
thing
are
is,
gonna hate him for that.
they should
I can't
love
wait
me
to put
because-
this shit out.
They should love me
He
for
said
that
it,
shit.
ladies.
They should love me for this shit because the women, I don't think they understand that. And I don't blame the women for that. I blame these weak ass Negroes out here.
Fair.
Like, because these women, they don't want to wait. You got this social media phenomenon and they see this lifestyle. They don't want to wait to find you to build the lifestyle that they want. So they
Correct.
go out and build it themselves. And when they build it themselves, it's like, yo,
What I need you for.
what?
And see, it's some of that, and it's also upbringing as well, because it's a generational thing that's happening. Like right now, we're experiencing the generational wrath of what has happened prior, like is what we're seeing, because in these households, these women are being taught to prioritize their education. They're being taught to prioritize their job and their work.
They've had to.
They're being taught.
I'm throwing that out there that they've had to, especially women that look like us, primarily because like they are the least protected in the United States.
Which makes sense. And they have, so what has happened is women have fallen out of trust with the masculine. And because they have fallen out of trust with the masculine, they have become the fucking masculine.
Yep.
Now, here's what's really crazy. I could almost put money on it that probably 95%, and that's a high percentage. Probably, let me just say 9 out of 10 people did not watch the entire video. I am one that watched the entire video from beginning to end. I saw everything that they spoke of and that led up to this conversation. And I even posted the conversation the 30-second clip on my Instagram. So if you want to check it out, it's right here, right there. Go to the real _ Chris Davis. And I had people coming for me on my Instagram. I'm okay with that. I got my notifications off. So it's not like it's gonna bother me that you say, these men are insecure. But what you all missed is that the one guy was saying that women have become the men, and that was my only point. My point was the attitude is very masculine. So I'm going to dial back, and I want to let you guys jump in. Tell me what you guys think of the clip, because the first 30 seconds was men are going to hate, women are going to hate men for him saying that that they're air quote damaged goods. Tell me what you guys think in reference to the clip, and then the entire 2 or 3 minutes that we just heard. Let's dive in. Go ahead, Shan. You're on mute, Shan. I can't hear you.
Colin got to do it. Okay, cool. Chris, why don't we play the clip from your Instagram so people understand what's happening? Is it on your feed, or is it on your videos?
It's on my reels.
Okay, and is it the one that's called
I'll tell you exactly what it's called. It says, "Ladies, you're the man that you've been looking for." I think it's gold. I think it's white and gold.
Okay, white. Throw rocks. Heartbreak is a bitch.
Yep, not that one.
Older than that. Started fire on the post before this one gonna drop. Context is everything. Heartbreak is a bitch. I think it may be a video. Hold on, let me see.
No, I'm sorry. It's black. It's black, white, and gold. Sis, you're the man you've been looking for. That one.
Got it. Found it. All right, let me share this page. So everybody, this is going to be a little clip of what you just watched, and then you're going to hear Chris's response to this. Here we go.
That one. Look at all them damn comments.
I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like, once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh.
And what it is these, and this is the thing, I'm not blaming
the women are gonna hate him for shit.
No,
they are gonna hate him for that.
They should.
I can't wait to put shit out.
So 30 seconds is not enough to address this. But I'll say this. The mentality that is being spoken about in the video that I just showed is something that men do. I have a good job. I have a good home. I have a good career. Now I need a woman to add. That's something that men do, and women need to stop being men, because what leaves for us to do or be?
Literally, she says, I got a good job.
So here's the thing. If women are being men, being the provider, and you're saying, I now need a man, what do you need? And you want to be in a hypergamous situation, right? And I'm not talking about a woman that wants to get the bag and you just want a man and he can just bring you peace and he can bring you happiness and comfort and love and affection and all of those things, which I'm saying that men can do, right? But typically, most men want, not for ego, but most men want to be the provider. Most men the ones that I know, and I'm not talking about males, right? Like just guys that want to go and work at Dollar General, that want to smoke weed every day. I'm not talking about those, right? I'm not talking about smoking weed all day and then they hanging out on the corner. I'm not talking about those men. Those are like maybe the lower 15% of men. I'm talking about the men that get up and go to work every day, that want to be in a loving, kind relationship. They don't want to be dominated by men. So if you take that role away from them, you now become what you're looking for. So, and I'm not saying this, and let me express this. There's nothing wrong with you being successful. The attitude is what's wrong. The demeanor is what I'm saying is wrong. And if you have that attitude, it's almost like now that you have money, it's almost like you ain't never got that, had money before. So you got to boast and you got to brag that I got it now. Why? That's where I was trying to get to. And 30 seconds is definitely not enough for me to talk about it. So, fellas, tell me what you think about the clip.
I just know they ate your ass up in your comments.
Guess who didn't care?
They ate your ass up. They was mad at you, and I just read Wes's comment. Wes is mad at you. Wes is mad at you. But you got to look at how you said it though, Chris, because you basically saying if women are saying I got the degree. I mean, forget the degree. I make money. I am a high earner, just like we name this show. I am a high earner. I am a high achiever. I am the executive vice president of the Western region of said Fortune 500 company. I got my own house and I have a condo on the East Coast. I have a foreign car, 3 of them, one of them parked at my condo in the East Coast, and plenty of money in the bank. My savings account is stupid. I just need a man. I don't need a man to provide for me. I don't need a man to take care of anything. The bills are paid. Everything is covered. I just need a man. In the video, the guys are saying, well, what do you need a man for? Chris, you're saying, and it sounded like this in the video, and this is why I think people kind of came at you, because you're saying, well, wait, if you did all of that, then what's left for me to do in a relationship? What's left for me to do in a relationship? And it comes off as though you're saying, I need to stay destitute as a woman so I could find a man to save me. That's what it sounded like, Chris. That's why when I just wrote my little comment, like, fuck everybody, I'm on Team Chris. But I didn't really get into it because it sounded like you're basically saying women should just stay destitute and sit around and just hope that some guy comes and saves them.
No,
that's what it sounded like. Listen,
no.
I'm telling you what it sounded
watch
like.
this. Watch this, Shan, and that's fine, right? It's fine that it sounded like that, right? Because if people really listen to the stuff that I say on a regular basis, I want women to win. I boast in women that win, but I think the problem comes in when you have to stick your chest out. Oh, I got it, dog. Like I went on a date with a young lady, and you know what she did? I invited her on a date. At the end of the day, she wanted to show me that she had it so bad that she handed me $40 or was trying to hand me $40 for the date like 3 weeks ago. I'm like, what? I said, you're embarrassing me. Like what? So it's not that you all ladies cannot have it. There's no need to be arrogant about it. And then here's what's crazy, because I saw a comment: is the male ego that fragile? Here's the thing. You know what I'm gonna say? And this is straight up what I just firmly believe now. Women that got it now, I think their ego is way more fragile than the male ego that has it, because they have had to kick, scratch, and claw, and now they got to stick their chest out like, yeah, I got it now. I'm doing it now. I got a degree. I got a house. I hear that so much, having been not being single, not married. Oh, I got my own house. On every dating site that I've been on, every single one, women say things like, I got my own house, I got my own car, I got my own crib, my own money. You got to match that. Like, you mean to tell me that you got the basic necessities, the Maslow hierarchy of law? You screaming about that? Like, it's cool that you got it, but do you got to flaunt it? Like, you act like you never had it before. So that's my point. Anyways, I'm through with it. I'm through with it.
So I want to hear Wes because he vehemently disagreed. But before we get to Wes, I just wanted to
Wes
say
was simping bad, bro.
Well, yeah, okay, but that's what Wes is. He's Obi-Wan Kenobi and shit, right? But to your point, Chris, I think it's almost like two sides of the same coin that we're discussing. So there's hypergamy. right? There's hypergamy, and then there's high achievers. So, um, based on the video where the guys are saying, "Listen, I got you got this woman who achieved all these things. She's done really well. And when she says, 'I just need a man,' the knee jerk reaction from the video is the guy saying, 'Who's gonna want you? You've already priced yourself out. Nobody's gonna want that, right?'" Um, that's not necessarily true, even from a hypergamous situation. But I'm gonna jump to hypergamy in just a second. The problem is the things that has that has that women have had, the things that women have needed to do to get to that achievement, to get to that job position at her job. The time that it took her to get there, she blew through her 20s. Now she's rock solid in her late 30s, early 40s, and now she's saying, "I want a man," right? And everything is already set, unless she hit the lottery in 20 or something like that. But otherwise, if it's just through a career and she put 10 years in at the firm, and in another 5 more years at the next job, where who headhunted her, and so she's 15 years in the game, and now she's saying, "I need a man." Well, one, you know, m- come on, man. Father Time is undefeated, so time is against her with that. In terms of beauty, which is a very extremely important thing for men. And then two, what kind of mentality was embedded in her day to day psyche for her to get to that position that she'll be able to turn that off when she's at home. Oftentimes, it's not turned off. That shit is rusted shut in boss mode. That's why the clip for this video is boss chick. Men don't want a boss chick at home. But in order for her to have everything, she's going to bleed that boss chick shit over into the relationship. I know women think they won't. I know they think they're going to be feminine and submissive and caring and all of that kind of stuff. But far too often, and from the complaints that I'm hearing from brothers, far and wide, including my own complaints, is women don't know how to turn that off. They haven't been taught how to turn that off because they've never been taught how to be a wife. They only been taught how to be a boss. And that's the problem. So since you a boss out in the streets, you're gonna be a boss at home. And don't no man want to be bossed around under his own house. Now here's the thing about hypergamy. Let's talk about the other side of the coin. Hypergamy is built in. It's you know what I'm saying? It's baked in the cake. So all women want hypergamy. And that's why you'll get a woman who makes a bunch of money. She won't date anybody who makes less than her, typically. It's not all, or nothing's absolute, but generally speaking, when you ask a woman who's making 75,000, because first of all, only what I think the number is, only 15% of women in America make over $80,000 a year, by the way. So 80 to 85% of y'all make less than 100 $80,000 a year. So this whole boss thing is really just some bullshit and some feel good words, because there ain't that many bosses out there, right? But for the ones that are doing pretty well for themselves, can buy themselves a home or a condo, can take care of themselves, don't need a man for anything, they won't want to date anybody below them. But the average brother only makes $47,000 a year. So since she won't date down, she'll only date up. But if she's gonna be, so she wants hypergamy internally, but when she gets with a man that's on a higher socioeconomic scale than her, she brings that boss shit. He ain't gonna have that. You're not gonna find a
She's
man.
only gonna be a side piece.
You ain't gonna find a man making $100,000 a year and getting bossed around by somebody that's in a new relationship. I ain't talking about high school sweethearts that married each other and grew together. I'm talking about people that's already made themselves, and they're meeting each other where they currently are. And so that's where that problem is. The hypergamous part is there. I don't know how many of you guys had the pleasure of meeting Oprah Winfrey. I had the pleasure on a project years ago of meeting Oprah Winfrey. Guess who was there? Stedman. I was there. Now I didn't get to know them. I was off to the side, but I got to watch them interact. Let me tell y'all something, ladies. Let me tell you guys something about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey on the Oprah Winfrey show, she is in charge. When she's with her staff, she's in. I was told about a meeting she had in a meeting Oprah Winfrey had. She said if she told her staff, the moment that I know more about your job than you do, you're fired. That's something that I had when I learned that she had said that, that stuck with me. Is like, yeah, that's how you get smarter people to work for you. As a woman at work, Oprah Winfrey's unmatched. She's a boss for real. But when she got around Stedman, when I saw her around Stedman, I'm looking for Stedman to be a lapdog. I'm looking for Stedman to just follow her around or carry her purse and shit. Oh no, 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 no. She turned that boss shit off when Stedman was around. But Stedman, he's only a millionaire. She's a billionaire 3 times over. It ain't about the money. It ain't about the own network. It ain't about Harpo Studios. It ain't about Color Purple. It ain't about all the shit that she got going on. When Oprah, if what I saw at that gala was anything like what Oprah and Stedman treats at home, Stedman gets his respect as a man, and Oprah knows how to be the feminine woman that she needs to be. But far too often, that side of it isn't taught to women today. The young women don't know to do that. The older women didn't do it. And so they just know how to be a boss. And so the hypergamy, although it's built in and women want to be hypergamous and want a man that's higher than her on the socioeconomic scale, she wants a man that's going to be able to teach her. You guys read the meme. Even though I can take care of myself, it's still nice to have a man lead me. Yes, but the moment that somebody wants to lead you, are you willing to follow that brother? And oftentimes, women aren't ready to do that because they think that they can lead themselves. But Wes, you lit him up. You lit up Chris in the comments. Can you explain why
Because Wes is a simp.
why you vehemently disagree? Because what Chris said is primarily true.
Because Wes was listening with his emotions. And before you go, Wes, hold your thought. If you are in the comments and you want to join this conversation, I want to make you an invite. You want to hit the link at the top of the chat, call.aabma.live. We welcome you to join us here in the conversation. We'll welcome you. Just make sure you show the producer your face on camera. You don't have to have the camera on, but you're welcome to join us. Go ahead, Simp West, Simp Nation. Oh, that's why he on mute. I'm glad he on mute talking to PS. I'm glad he on mute.
And Chris, let me just be clear: you ain't authorized to call nobody a simp just
No.
because.
I'm just picking at West.
One week out of the year, your ass decided not to be one. You ain't. Don't act like.
Whatever. No, your audio's not good, Wes.
You got to unmute him.
He's not muted on my side. That's him.
Oh, Wes, check your settings.
You gotta go and connect your audio.
That's God. That's God speaking. He don't want him to talk.
Yeah. See, Wes was like, Wes was listening with his emotions, and so he was like, "Oh, I can't believe." And then he got Jackie Winter and all these other women to clap him up. Wes was just doing that for applause. Oh my! I could not believe Wes was like, "Oh, yeah, I vehemently disagree." I should read your comment while your audio is muted, because I can't believe you, Wes. Did you figure out your audio yet?
God don't like sipping.
Yeah. See, your video is amazing, Wes. Whatever you did, you brought clarity to your video. Man, you cleared that video up. Man, I tell you,
Chris, real quick. So, Chris, based on what you had said in your video, so now I'm gonna get away from the podcast. I'm gonna ask you about your response. Do you believe that a woman that has achieved high, that is has a whole lot of abbreviations after her name in her signature, who has a full staff that checks in with her, she has a personal assistant? Do you believe this woman, who doesn't need a man pretty much for anything other than companionship, is priced out of the game?
No. Because I know women that are like that. I personally know, and I've dated women like that, that have that are executives, in their field, that have an assistant. Now they might not have 20, 30, 100 people calling their name, but those are typically the women that I've been able to date in the last 3 years that I've been. Well, wait, last 2 years that I've been really dating. They know how to turn it off, but I think it's, for me personally, I think it's because when they meet me, I don't like. There's a young lady that right now she's the head of uh something at the hospital, right? I don't know what her title is, but she
Probably a
has a
director.
staff, right? She
Mhm.
makes great money, a six-figure income earner. She told me we were dating last year. She said, "I don't know what it is about you." No, she said no. She said, "Yeah, I don't." That's how she starts it. I don't know what it is about you. I think it's just your masculine energy. Every time I get around you, I just want to just what did she say? I want to not cower, but she said she was basically, I just want to like not be so boss, right? And I'm just like,
Couch
when
out.
she would come by my house, I'm like, but I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here. Like we would sit and watch TV. She was like, but it's just something about you. And I'm like, okay,
Well, see, that's an
thank
issue
you.
too, though. You got to be careful with that. So, because that's what we call chameleons, and that's what representatives show. You know, women are good. They know how to. They can win some Oscars, and so oftentimes they'll say, "Oh, it's something about you. Because of you, I'm more feminine." The question is, are you intrinsically? Are you inherently? I'm
Correct.
sorry, inherently feminine.
Correct.
It shouldn't be me. Don't let
Right.
me. Don't let something that
Exactly.
I'm doing.
Right. I shouldn't be the cause of you resting in your femininity. You
And so
should do it because that's who you are.
now, in the telltale, see, these are the red flags, and I know that you probably spoke about this in your book. You haven't mentioned your book. Be sure to plug it. These are the telltale flags that a lot of people will ignore because those feel good words for most men is almost like validation, pat on the back. A guy like me. So let me tell you guys, if a guy like Shannon, if a woman come and told me it's something about you that just makes me be so fit, I'm gonna say, well, how come you wasn't that without me? I'm going to say the fact that you're telling me that tells me that you have a propensity to be otherwise.
Yep.
I want to
Absolutely.
know, you should even tell me that it's something about me that makes you feminine because
Yep.
I'm going to say the moment I piss you off, you're not going to be feminine. The moment I
And
do something you don't like, you're not going to be feminine. Or if you were dating some other guy that wasn't as masculine as me, you wasn't feminine. But it's something about me today, that's because we're in the honeymoon stage, or that's because you like me right now. We're going to
yep.
fight. It's going to be something that's going to happen. And then when that
Yep.
happens, are you going to get on my goddamn nerves or are you going to boss up then? And see, so the fact that you're letting me know that it's something about me that makes you do this, that's a red flag. But a lot of people won't look at that. You know what men will do? They'll say, damn, yeah, baby. That's because I'm the man.
I'm the man. I'm the
I'm the
man.
man.
They'll beat their chest, right? And so I 1,000% agree because here's what happened. We got into a disagreement. She made a statement, and I corrected her statement because she was like, let's just say she said a word, and she was like, "Oh no, I didn't mean that." Now, mind you, I'm the type of guy that I'm gonna buy you a gift every month while we're dating, right? If I'm serious about you, I got her a gift, and I was like, she was like, "Well, you ain't got to bring the gift by. I don't even want the gift. You ain't got to call me anymore. Don't text me no more. You know what? Boom, boom, boom." And she blocked me. So you know what that said to me, Shan? The moment I do something you don't like,
Mm-hmm. You a boss
that
again.
femininity turns off
Heaven forbid you marry him.
because it's no longer about me, right?
Now,
No longer
now
about the
what
money I
happens,
make.
Chris? What happens if she was able to hide that, shield that, cover that up,
For
put it on her
months.
face, and you make it to the altar, and now you married, you go on the honeymoon, and then a year
And then I
in,
see that,
it's too.
and it's too late at that point. But I happen to take pleasure at being able to watch women's actions and their words. Part of the reason why I wrote my book that Shannon alluded to, I'll bring it up later, is because I want to not only watch my actions, but I want to watch your actions, but I want to also watch your words. So I want to step away real fast because we haven't given Wes, is your audio back? Say hello, Wes. No. All right, Colin Shahi, y'all want to jump in on that on the video or any part of it? I mean, I know Shannon and I have been going back and forth, but
Not really. I mean, I don't think he communicated it properly. I get the gist of what he was trying to say, but I didn't watch the video. Like I don't really get into stuff like I don't really be caring because I don't be having these type of problems when it come to women. So I don't like if it don't really if it don't apply, I let it fly. But um like when he said all those things, he said it makes a woman less attractive. I don't necessarily think he meant that. I get it. I don't know. This stuff is becoming so redundant and repetitive. It's like sometimes at the same time, it feels like some men are begging women for submission because it doesn't come natural. So like it's like they're trying to create like a strategic plan to get women to submit. So I kind of just stay out of it. You know what I mean? But
What doesn't come natural, Shahi? What doesn't come natural exactly?
I mean, I don't know. You would have to ask these men. It's just like they got all these strategies and ways for women to
No, no,
submit.
I know, but you said you think that men are begging women to become submissive because it doesn't come natural. The begging is natural, or
Women,
them not being submissive is.
women submitting naturally to them. They
Ah,
like to me. It's just like I don't know. Find a new pool of women that might submit to you and or whatever. Because you know what I mean. It's getting weird. Like I don't know if it's just a trendy thing or whatnot, but like
I hope so.
a lot of times it's just like I mean, but in the reality, I've always spoken on this since we started this. Like we've been fooled to believe that there are as many alpha men as it's just not. Like if you study nature, if you study just anything that has a dominant in it, the dominant is more rare than anything. Like it's not if there's a litter of anything, any type of animal, any herd or whatever, there's typically only one dominant. There's only one alpha. So this idea that it's like a strategic plan to just create these alpha beings that aren't naturally there. They're just not. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and I get it. Like as a man, you want to be alpha. You want to be dominant. You want to be the leader. Like every kid on the team want to be the captain. They want to be the best player. They want, you know what I mean? But it's not. You know what I mean? But uh, yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like I don't know. That's all I got.
Shahid, so real quick, the alpha thing, in nature, animals, whatnot, that's normally when competing against another. Okay, so like you said, there's usually only one alpha in the pack, right? We'll use a wolf pack. We could use a pride of lions. We could use we could use elephants. You know, the bull elephant, and then there's usually a fight for the top spot between the two bull elephants. You know, did the boy grow up? Is he stronger than the OG that's been there for years? You know, you look at gorillas, it's the same way. Silverback, it's the two silverback. It's usually a fight for the top spot, but it doesn't necessarily mean the one that lost isn't a good leader.
I
It
agree.
doesn't mean, no, no, hear me out. It doesn't mean that the gorilla that's smaller and weaker than the bigger and stronger gorilla isn't an alpha. It's just that he couldn't kick his ass.
Right,
And
but
so
the
since
result.
since
Go ahead.
no, I got you. So here's the thing. Now in human society, other than the animal kingdom, where there's a limited amount of female lions to have a pride, so on and so forth, we create small prides within our own home. So it's not necessarily that I'm competing with my next door neighbor or my next door neighbor that way. I'm not necessarily competing with them to get his wife and his kids to come up under here. We all create our own little prides. And so, like you're saying, most, in nature, most, animals aren't in charge. But it doesn't mean that most of the males aren't able to lead. It could be 100 different reasons why. And so, just like in human society, my belief is, and this is why I was speaking on why women need to change, and I'll get into that later. I'll explain it to Wes later. Um, there are plenty of men, black men, white men, Asian men, and Latino, who have the ability to lead their households. They have the ability to alpha their way, if we want to use it. We know there's alpha, beta, uh, gamma, delta, sigma, and omega styles, but we speaking for the sake of conversation for alpha. There's plenty of men that can lead a household. There's plenty of men that can alpha their way to a successful family.
I
And the oh, well, I wasn't sure that you were thinking that because you were saying that most people aren't. alpha, and I'm saying, well, most people can't. Most men,
So,
it's part of it's baked in our cake too. You know,
right.
we can lead under but we just need to make sure that we have a willing. You know, we can coach. We can coach a basketball team. Will we always win? Will we win against the next team? Will I win against my neighbor across the street or the backside of my house? Or will I win against them? Well, I'm not competing against them per se. It's just a team that I have here within my household and your household and Chris's household and Colin's household. And Colin is not necessarily competing against Shannon. Colin just needs to make sure that his team is good and that he got a solid female species and they're having cubs and everything that they're doing is good. And I believe that most men are alpha in their own homes. The problem is, are we getting the respect that we deserve? The answer is no. And that speaks back to the loud minority in the whole nine.
See, where I disagree is I do believe that we're still competing. The reality is, as men, we all are competing. You know what I mean? And it's like we're competing for women, so to speak, right?
No. Okay, you talking about in the acquiring a woman and clubbering over her head and grabbing her by the hair and dragging her to your cave. Yes, we're competing there. Absolutely. We're absolutely competing there. You know, we can't just go snatch women out of the wilderness and take her to our cave anymore, right? We got a lot more modern and civilized ways of getting women. But once you got your woman, once you have your small tribe of 4 or 3 or whatever, or maybe it's just 2 of you guys, no children, the competition kind of stops there at that point. Once you put the ring on, and marriage is the factor, right? That's where the litmus test ends, and we go into the reality. So at that point, do you still feel that Mr. Married Shannon, with my wife in another room, if I was married, is competing against Jerron and his wife in another state?
No, but what I took from the video when he says like it makes a woman less attractive, it sounded like to me was he's still out on the hunt, and that woman wasn't a viable option for him because she was less attractive because of X, Y, and Z. So for me, in the competition of things, it's just like, well, there are some men that woman looks lovely to. You know what I mean? She looks very attractive. It doesn't look as less appealing for that man because he might have different resources or different tools that you might not possess in order to acquire that woman. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I got you. I'm tracking. Which is going to lead to the actual title of the room. If Chris, after you go through everybody, I want to go to the title of the room on the high value guy, on the high value man's opinion to a woman that's high achieving. But go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm just gonna bring in Jerron. I know we want to welcome, bro. Glad you were able to pop in. Were you able to catch the video that was posted at all, or?
No, I wasn't. So I'm just gonna sit this one out.
Okay, cool. Colin, Wes, did you get your audio? Let us know, and then Colin, where do you stand?
Wes, are you good? He's still back there.
Wes is putting on headphones.
And what are we talking about? Are we talking about the podcast still?
Yep, the podcast video. Yep.
Yeah, just what's your thoughts on what those guys said?
I mean, I really feel what Shaheed was saying as far as like, if it don't apply, it's just, I'm not worried about it. But the other guy did make a point. Everything is just like, it really is just the weak men that are kind of perpetuating this cycle. And like I said, that's always been my stance. It's just like, that's who I have beef with. Because the way I look at it is, I mess with the strong men and things like that. I'm mounting up soldiers, getting them right, empowering them, and then it's like it's an about face. It's just like, because there's strength in numbers. So it's like, okay, we need to about face and get this right. I'm always checking dudes, whether you call them weak men or something like that, especially on Clubhouse. I mean, early on Clubhouse, dudes that were in violation and things like that. I'm calling them in private rooms and things like that and having conversations with them. It's just like, yo, you're in violation. Like, why did you do this? Why are you just like calling them on their stuff? Not looking for stuff, but just like stuff is just blatant out their face, like stepping the line, being habitual line steppers, like crossing lines they have no business crossing as man code. So yes, I believe it is the weak men that are perpetuating this, because the way I look at it is women, it's a race to the top, but with men that are like begging for submission and things like that, it's just like, for those men, it's just like a race to the bottom. So yeah, submission shouldn't be something you should have to beg for. It shouldn't be something you should have to like plead for. It should be something that naturally. But then that just comes down to you and your specifics. So it's just like, if you're not naturally looking for a woman who, well, everybody has their everyone already has their preferences and things like that. But it's just like, but if you aren't properly vetting a woman and you want a woman that's submissive, but you got a masculine woman, it's just like, is that what you was looking for? Like, what, when you were vetting, is that like what kind of energy are you giving out? Is it like, what are you looking for? Is that what you're trying to attract? Is that what you demanded? Is that what you required? Where are your boundaries? So that's kind of my stance on it.
Allow me to play devil's advocate to you brothers that feels that the men are weak, right? So we have a woman who's achieved
Which man,
everything.
Shan?
Well, really the guy in the podcast and Colin right now, right?
Well, I don't think
Shaheed.
Colin is saying that the men in the podcast were weak, but I think that
No. He's not saying the men in the podcast are weak.
Oh,
The
gotcha.
men in the podcast and Colin are saying the problem is weak men.
I'm with you now. I'm tracking.
Okay, so the men in the podcast were saying the same thing that Colin is saying, and that is that there's just weak men out there that's out there begging women for submission and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And like Shaheed said, because it's not coming natural.
Shane, before you finish, I want to put this disclaimer out there again. I know that there are tons and tons of violators out there of the other gender, but like I said, my stance is I don't focus on that. I focus on the things that are perpetuating that's in control, that is in control to stop all that nonsense.
I got you.
All right.
But so I'll pose this to the people in the audience that's listening to my voice that feel that, well, you know, if you got a woman that's out there that achieved really high and did really well and was very amazing and was strong and whatnot, and then the men, like the guy in the podcast had mentioned, he said, you know, well, it's too late for you now. You know, what's left? What's left for the men to do? You know, you got all this money and everything. You got the career. You get your paycheck every 2 weeks is a high number, multiple thousands of dollars every 2 weeks. You're good to go. And now you just want a man. Well, what man is going to want you? That's what he was alluding to in the video. And then he was saying, but I don't blame the women. I blame these weak ass men. I blame these weak ass niggas is what he said, right? And so my devil's advocate to that. I'm not necessarily giving a pushback, but to a degree I am. My thing is, what are these weak ass men to do? Are they to step up and
hold their balls,
make more money, fight, argue, holler back? When she says, I want to go left, you make her go right? What should, you know, since these men are quote unquote weak, right? What is it that what are people suggesting these men actually do? Because I guess my argument is, are the men weak or are the women just a little too strong in their personalities? Oh, well, you know what? You just can't handle a strong black woman, right? These black men just can't handle a strong. That's why you run off to the white woman, because she's gonna just listen to everything you say and be docile and meek like a little old mouse. But me, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna say it with my chest. I'm gonna tell you that that's the wrong way to make those pancakes. I'm gonna tell you that don't do that. That we ain't going over there this weekend. And you need to be strong enough to listen to that. I need to be strong enough to listen to you holler at me and tell me how you feel, because that's what you do to all your employees. That's what you do to all your supervisors that's under you, since you're the manager. That's what you do at your job. And so now you at home and you telling me I'm one of these weak niggas because I'm not letting you do that shit to me, or I don't tolerate that from a woman. I don't want to hear that from my wife. I don't want to hear that from my girlfriend. I'd like to be able to say something I'd like to be able to lead the team, but every time I call a play, you say I don't want to run that play. And so now I'm a weak coach? Is that what we're suggesting? Anybody?
Wes, are you back?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
Wow.
You have to ditch the professional audio equipment. Huh?
Right. No. Actually,
Eddie Riley
I'm back in my ear. Yeah, I was hyped before. Maybe that was God.
Definitely was God.
Yeah, because I was gonna rip you a new one. Listen,
You weren't. It sounded good.
Look, well, what do we? If someone wants to speak to what Shan was just talking about, I think that's because I was still kind of getting stuff together.
So he was playing devil's advocate. Just in summary, he was what are quote unquote weak men to do if they are literally just faced with a stronger woman. So it's just like, just because the woman pushes back and she deems him, oh, you weak, or he calls a play and she calls an audible, something like that. It's just, so he basically, what if it's not a weak man? What if it's a stronger woman or a more masculine woman?
I personally, again, like I said, going back to the alpha, all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with being beta or sigma or this or that or whatever name under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is, somebody can call me weak because I may not want to deal with a woman that is loud or whatever. Like I'll be weak because that's just something I'm not putting up with.
But are you?
No, I'm not. That's my point.
Right.
You're not weak. You're not weak, but you have to move and you have to fish in the pond that you have the bait for. You know what I mean? You can't be in this. You can't go into the lake with the big fish with the baby rod, and then get mad every time your pole breaks.
Okay.
That's
okay.
You fish in the lake that you got the bait and the tools for. That's it. It's that simple.
And so my argument would be that you are, first of all, absolutely, you are not weak.
Right.
That's why I'm saying that's why I call myself playing devil's advocate. You are not weak, Shaheed. You are not the men out here that's being called small dick energy. As I'm hearing, they got new songs out. You know, you got big dick energy and small dick energy. All these little sign language and shaming tactics that women and feminists are coming up with to try to shame men and make them feel bad because they're demanding a certain thing and not tolerating the bullshit that that men deem bullshit, right? So small dick energy, you a beta. You're weak. You're not strong. You can't handle a strong black woman. And so you go and you deal with, like I said, like a woman of another culture who is not necessarily meaning he's going to a weaker woman. He's going to a woman who is going to acquiesce and be more agreeable. She's more cooperative. Like the white women could be more cooperative to the brother. But see, the ones that's calling the brother weak is saying, oh, you going to those little, meek women. And it's like, no, maybe it's just going to a woman that's more cooperative. Does that make me weak? No. But here's the thing that I'm talking about right here, Shaheed. You said, well, stop fishing in that pond. Stop fishing in the pond where all these strong women is going to call you weak. Go fish in the pond where the women, where the women that you like are, right?
Right.
The argument is, and herein lies our dilemma. This goes back to Chris's original question that was offset today. Who needs to get fixed in the dating relation? That pond is small, brother. That pond that you're saying that we need to go to for the women who are fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun, friendly being the operative word, also interchangeable with cooperative, is a small pond. It's a big ass pond of them strong black ones that talk shit and push back on they men. It's a smaller pond of the fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun women. And so I get it. We got to compete, like you said, Shaheed. We got to compete for the women in that pond. But goddamn, we got so many women that why don't we? And then these women are single, and then these women are complaining about the relationships and the outcomes that they're getting. You got the women. You got these women in this big ass pond that's complaining day in and day out. They're 30 plus years old, 35, 40 plus years old, complaining there ain't no good black men. They're out there screaming, where's the good black men? No, we here. It's plenty of us. But we not tolerating all that shit that you in this big ass pond is talking about. We'd rather go over here with this one. But the moment we go over here with this pond, we're weak, like the man said on the podcast.
I disagree with that. Like, and when I say, in a sense, like if the pond that you choose to go to takes you completely out of your race, that's a different story. However,
no, not even the race. I'm not changing race. I'll just use that as an example because that's been one of the arguments a long time. But go ahead.
Right. So now
Even
the women that keep complaining about where the good men at and they the loud and the ones that give all the pushback, I'm big on nature. So you gotta die alone. That's the consequence.
You gonna go there with it?
Those are the consequences, though.
You gonna do the buy? What are you disagreeing on? I didn't hear a disagreement.
No. I thought you meant no. I'm not disagreeing at all. What I'm saying is like I'm not even with the. A lot of men take too much time trying to fix that, trying to change that. If that's something you don't like, move on to the next pond.
Yeah, but we love our sisters, brother.
No, it's sisters that are not like that. That's what I'm saying. It's sister. I've known plenty of sisters that are not like that. I don't get that. I don't run into that.
But Colin, I'm sorry, Shaheed. Now we got to talk about we have to talk about what the black pill community talks about. We have to talk about natural selection, brother. You are more handsome.
Dying alone.
You don't get to do that, Colin. Shaheed, you are above average handsome for most women. So the things that you don't deal with, the average non-select guy does. You are a select guy. You are 6 feet 7 inches basketball star who rides a horse and is great looking and is well spoken and is educated. You're not average. So when you talk about, oh well, I don't experience that, yeah, because you're above average. But the average brothers like me, we have to deal with the shit that you don't have to deal with.
I cannot believe he said that, Cap. Anyway, before the next person opens up their mic, I want to bring Happy to the conversation. Happy
Daniel?
Welcome. Yes.
Oh, my God.
You got to unmute yourself. And hold on one second, Happy. Welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. Welcome back. We have missed you. It is so good to see you. You look absolutely amazing. Shan sent me a text and said, if Happy is here, please put her next to me. So
I can't tell who I'm next to because it's going up and down. It's like a line. So
look, I just fixed it for you. So you can be right next to your guy.
And
all he wants is a home cooked meal. Okay, he'll take care of the rest. Anyway, welcome to Ask a Black Man Anything. We're so happy that you're here. How'd you want to join in the conversation?
Y'all done got me stressed out over here, child. I am stressed.
Don't worry. Wes is here to unstress you.
Because
Wes is absolutely here.
Thank you, Shaheed. Thank you, Shaheed, for speaking because, I want to speak on what you just said, Shan, right? The last thing that you just said. You tried to tell Shaheed like he's above average and all of these things, and then he doesn't experience what the average person does. And that may be true. But what every person does experience is whatever their experience is. So we have to stop looking at things like we can give people advice when we don't know them. We can't give them advice when we don't know them. Whether you're average or above average or whatever society makes you out to be, you have to know who you are, and then you have to attract what you are. You can't tell nobody, if you make more, if I'm gonna tell you something, if a man ever says to me, oh, you're just too smart for me, brother, you just like my brother, you just not my man. Like, that's just what it is. I'm never gonna be too smart for the man that I'm supposed to be with. So I'm never going to be too educated or have too much money for the man that I'm supposed to be with, because that man, it, we keep talking about the submission word. It's an interesting word, but what Shahid said again is true. The person that's supposed to submit to you is going to submit to you. It's not going to be any trickery. It's not going to be any force. It's not going to be something that we change only 2% as people in our whole lifetimes. We can change 2%. We can evolve, we can learn, we can grow more into the person that we already are, but we don't change who we are. And so to think that we are going to meet someone and because of what they've achieved in their life that disqualifies them for being in our life, baby, you wasn't it. You weren't the person that was supposed to be in my life like that then. If you disqualified because of what I've done in my life, I got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? Because the person that I'm going to be with, everything that I have is adding to what they are and what they have and what they've accomplished. And whatever we have together, that's what it is. But if you're so threatened by what I have just because I have it, that, if I talk about what I've achieved in my life, you're threatened by that. I can't understand.
Happy, let me ask you a question. You use the word threatened, right? Why is it that that you use the word threatened when I would use that I just don't tolerate a woman with a certain type of attitude? So I'll give you an example. There's a lady on, and it's verifiable. There's a lady on my Instagram right now. She has a little check mark, so I guess she's a public figure or whatever. She follows me. No, I don't care how she found me. It doesn't matter, right? She got a check mark on Instagram.
Chris, okay,
huh?
We know. We all know you.
No. I'm making a point, right? I'm making a point. So I won't talk about what she does, but she made a statement that well, you don't want to be with a woman who is nationwide, right? And I'm like, what? Huh? So I'm not threatened by the fact that she's nationwide. That doesn't threaten me, right? So why would you use the word threaten and not a different word, right? Because a lot of times I look at it as a masculine man. I just don't want to tolerate a woman that has a terrible attitude, right? And that's for me. So I love a woman that's accomplished, right? I love a successful woman, but just don't come to me with the attitude that you wearing it on your shoulder like you ain't never got it before, like you just now got the bag and you gotta flaunt it like the kid who graduated that is one and done in college. He goes out and get the big gold chain and the Mercedes Benz this and the Maybach that, like, because he ain't never had it before. Don't come to me with that low vibrational energy. So my question again, why is it that you would use the word
threaten?
Yes.
I'm glad that you asked that question, because as a woman, when I hear a man say something to me like, because of what you've accomplished, and this is exactly what the podcast said. He said, if you have achieved a certain level of education and you have achieved a certain earning potential, then I ain't got nothing for you. I don't have nothing to give you. The reason I said threaten was because if that is the reason why you can't rock with me, because what it really sounds like is you don't know how to communicate with me because of what I've accomplished. Because if you know anything about accomplishing anything at all, which I'm positive every single person that's watching this does, is that each thing is a certain level. It requires a certain level of knowledge. It requires a certain level of understanding. It requires a certain level of discipline. And when you've reached certain levels, what it sounds like to me you're saying is, I don't really know how to communicate at that level, and I feel threatened by the fact that you may expect me to. It doesn't sound to me like you're saying, you got a stank attitude, because a stank attitude is one thing. I would completely understand if that man on the podcast said, if you have a fucked up, excuse me, maybe I shouldn't cuss. If you have a
this is Clubhouse.
Fuck shit damn.
Look, okay, cool. If you got a fucked up attitude, you know what I'm saying? I can't rock with you, because that is something. That's a completely different conversation.
But did
we
you hear
do
him
as
say,
men and women
did you hear
need
him say
learn
that in the next sentence? That it comes off very masculine,
that's
that's the reason why they don't want to tolerate it. So that it's not threatened per se. It's more like it comes off very masculine, and his qualifying
But hold
statement
on.
was, "I
Let's get it.
understand
But at
why
what
women
point?
are like this
At what
now."
point? At what point is it masculine? Just
So
because I'm dealing with
I'll
my
say
past,
this.
what I've accomplished, and who I am, and what I've had to do to get there. Is that when
So
it's masculine?
look, I'll just say this: it's not the accomplishments, it's not the money. It's usually the attitude that comes with that. Because you just broke it down. It's just like it takes discipline. It takes this. It takes this. So what that does in turn to a woman is it hardens her and makes her, like what Shan was saying, a boss chick, to where it's just like she becomes masculine because she has a workforce. She's commanded. She's given orders and things like that, and she's so used to doing that she doesn't know how to turn it off. So that's what we're saying. It's just like it should come naturally. Or submissiveness is not something you turn on and off. Masculinity is not something you turn on and off. So it's not so much the accomplishments and the money that you're making, it's just the attitude that comes with it that men are not attracted
I
to.
can
It's
agree
like
with
they'll
that.
write it off.
I love
But
that.
here's the
That's
thing.
a
Look, let
statement.
me,
That's
if
great.
I may.
Go ahead.
Look, so the problem with this with the statement is, we first of all, we all understand the inner workings of the relationship. And the day that came out, I was in a room, and I said, this is Exhibit A of the fragility of the male ego. And here's the problem. The problem is that in order to experience the things that could turn us off about whether or not she's able to put away the boss in her, or to put away or to put back on her femininity when she comes home, that's a real valid issue, and I've dealt with it myself. The problem is, though, is that what these men are saying is that because of whatever trauma or whatever their experience might have been, or because of whatever they've witnessed, or worse, because of simply whatever they've heard, which is being regurgitated, that woman, because of these things, because of the accomplishments, she doesn't even get the opportunity to be in relationship, or to be discovered about, or for them to discover who she is. That automatically turns them off. And the problem is with that thinking is that young men are growing up actually thinking that they hear, and we have, as humans, we have confirmation bias. And sometimes we just want to hear the thing that confirms what we were thinking, or confirms that fear, and then we run with it. And that is the problem with their conversation, and that comment. That's the problem with your conversation, Chris. Your response to that is that you're taking, so all of these nuances that we've discussed, they're real, but this isn't what people are getting from that 30-second soundbite. And yes, you said this 30 seconds isn't the amount of time, enough time to discuss this topic, and that's true. Which is why the 30 seconds you do use should be are incredibly valuable, and they should be saying and delivering the highest message, because other people are hearing that. And there are young girls. If so, I have sons. I don't have daughters, but I raised two daughters, two girls who were like my daughters. One, my stepwife, my ex-wife, had a daughter, and another relationship I had, and for the life of me to imagine one of these girls sitting around because of what society has dictated to her, or men have dictated to her, to sit around and not achieve and accomplish and become all that she can be, in the hopes that a man will come and scoop her up and save her. You know, I was when you started out, I was Captain Save a Hope. But what it sounds like to me is these fragile male egos, all they want to do is be someone's savior, or they can't be anything. I can't be your partner. I can only be your savior. And that is an issue. And I would never want any young girl to walk away believing that, and then never achieving what she could have achieved in life, and still end up alone. Anyway,
So
that was my
Wes,
share.
so
Yeah,
then what you
because
so to your point, Wes, you saying that we don't need to, why listen to anybody's advice?
No.
No, but that's
No.
what it's come. That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like to me. Because what you're saying is, or worse, listening to some other people, listening to OGs, listening to people who've
No, no,
dealt
no,
with
no.
this. Well, so what do you mean? No, No. Either you just said
I'm
this. So
saying
I'm
I'm
asking
saying
you.
exactly what I said. So what I'm saying is, listen to me. Don't listen to this bullshit. Listen to me. And this is what I'm saying. So I'm
But
not
why
saying don't listen to
you?
anyone.
Why not listen to me?
Wes, let
Because
me ask you a
What
question, Wes.
qualifies you? You see,
Let me ask this question. So 30 seconds is not enough, first of all, is one of the things I said. The second thing I said, which is the most important, and you said I need to give a very directed message. My very directed message was literally right afterwards. I said three things. 30 seconds is not enough. The attitude that's being portrayed is very masculine. And if you take away being masculine from men, what is it left for men to do?
right. So
How is that wrong?
I'm going to tell you how. How that is wrong is
So
because you
if
had
a
no
woman
context.
stops you from
wait,
being a
Colin.
man,
Wait, let me answer you.
No, he
You
got
had
you,
no
Chris. Let him
context.
answer, and then come back to mine because I want to know
Yes.
why we should listen
You-
to anybody's advice based on what you're saying.
Exactly. So here's the point to you, Chris. It's really simple. The clip you showed, the clip that you played tonight, was far longer than the clip that you showed. First of all, so what people are going to perceive is that you're agreeing exactly with what's being portrayed right there in the clip. That's the first thing. Second of all, your comments were mostly based on that. Yes, you did say what you said, but they didn't talk about the mentality behind it. So a person would assume that the mentality that you speak of is the mentality of a woman who is a high achiever. None of the nuances of the mentality that you're speaking of, because that mentality doesn't always come with that, and that's putting women in the box. Shan, to your point, here's my point. Listen, nothing qualifies me
I need
more
you to
than
answer the last question, please.
yeah.
Because I'm not going to let you skip over that. If a
All right,
woman is being
That nigga be
masculine,
hitting some word salad.
if a
go
woman
ahead.
and I'm gonna answer if a woman is taking away what a man is supposed to do, if a woman is being masculine in the
Stop.
relationship,
That's
Hey,
that's
Chris,
the problem with your
yeah,
conversation right
that
there.
sounds
Is
like
you're
that's
calling
some of the
a woman
weakest shit I've ever heard. Like
right.
literally, I like to hear a man say, if a woman is taking away X, Y, and Z from a man, that's like the weakest shit I could ever hear.
Exactly.
That's
no. So let me rephrase because you can't really
But
take it away, right?
but
If
but
a woman is being masculine, right,
but stop right there. But
and her
Chris,
attitude is masculine,
but
and her
you're going
attitude
to
is masculine,
you're
she's
skipping
very
to
say what?
go ahead. You're skipping past. So you said if she's being masculine, what is being masculine? Her achieving, her accomplishing whatever it is that's
No, achieve,
because
please achieve.
but
So,
that's
but
where you're
that's what
starting.
the clip. That's what
So
the clip started with. There's nuance that was not expressed in that small clip that went viral.
All right,
So,
everybody, real quick. Colin, throw up the screen. I just put it up. It's been an hour since we've seen it. Listen, everybody. I'll
and
put myself
and
on mute, Colin.
was kicking in at.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's like, hypergamy is real too. So like most like women date across and up social dominance hierarchies, and men date across and down. So as men rise up, you have nothing but more options. As women rise up, they have very smaller options. And also a lot of the things that get them to those points negate them. The guys that are in the same space,
They don't want that.
they don't want it because they're like, oh, you're combative and like you
Yes.
feel like you need to be a boss and all this other stuff. And like
You telling me what to do.
right. And I love you. And I think you might be great, et cetera, for somebody else, but you probably need a Robin.
It's crazy.
You don't need a Batman.
I actually had a woman tell me, she says, I got a good job. I make very, very good money. And she says, the only thing I need now is a man. It's like, yo, it's like, who wants you? Who wants you? You're right. Like, once you have achieved these things, you have unfortunately disqualified yourself.
Ooh,
and
shit.
And what?
oh, can I
See,
jump
I don't.
really quick?
Go ahead.
Let me just jump in really quick. See, for me, I don't know how everybody else heard that. For me, when I hear that, if I hear that from a woman, that sounds very submissive to me, because what I hear is I need a man. That's what I hear. That's what I take from that. So
Right.
But Shaheed, the question should be, why can't she find a man?
That didn't necessarily say she can't find a man.
But
Shan, you on mute. You on mute, Shan.
Why
And more,
why are we assuming she can't find a man because she said I need a man?
Right, just because she's looking for a man.
She asked that
I'm
question.
single.
Hold on, wait. And then Hoppy, I know what you you asked you because you said it sounds like as soon that's the variable I presented earlier when you was just like it just sounds like if you're a high achiever then you're automatically at a scrap. So what I got from that clip is that's exactly what you're saying. It's like as soon as you become a high achieving woman, it's over for you. But what I presented tonight was the variable is just like what most likely what comes with that is that masculine energy because it takes a lot to be a high achiever and get to a higher position. So no, I'm not saying every high achieving successful woman is like that, but most of the time that's what it comes with. So not every woman fits that criteria, but a lot of women suffer from just being too masculine, and that's a put off for a man.
Can I respond to that?
Sure.
I agree with you 100%. There has been, not only in the African American community, but specifically, like if you are a young mom, if you're a single mom, if you experience that as well, there is a chance and a high probability that you do lead with masculine energy more often than not, right? But Shan, you were just talking about when you met Oprah and you saw her interact with Stedman, right? And in that, you could see her kind of switch her her positioning, and her energy, even based on who it was that she was interacting with. And that's how it really is in relationships. And that's why the point that Shahid was making earlier is very important to not skip over, because a woman will know how to submit to the man that demands or commands, not even demands, commands her submission. And you don't have
Commands.
to, even when she, I know a lot of successful women that are married and have been married for a long time and live a lot, even in their marriages, in their masculine energy, and they're going to stay married, child. And it's not something that can't be lived through. It is not something that a man, not even a strong man, won't tolerate. You have to know how to communicate with the person that it is that you're trying to communicate with. If you cannot, that's something that first you need to look at yourself and say, what is it about this person that is rubbing me the wrong way? Why can't I communicate with them in the way that I want to? If it's their masculine energy and it's rubbing you the wrong way, maybe it's something about the way that you want to come at them that's probably gonna rub people the wrong way. Oftentimes we are only a mirror of the person that's in front of us. If your mirror ain't I see you shaking your head, Chris, but this is a universal truth. We are.
But you don't know why I'm shaking my head though.
I don't. So you know what? Let me stay on my point.
No, yeah, make your point happy because I'll tell you why I'm shaking my head.
I want to listen. I want to hear why you were shaking your head. Absolutely. But I wanted to finish making my point. But go ahead.
So you were saying that if he can't communicate or he has an issue,
it's all on him.
It's all on him.
That's not what I said. I said that if we can't communicate, we are not, that it does not mean that it's the end of the world. It just means that you ain't the person for me, and that's okay.
So I can agree with, right? If you all can't communicate, then maybe you all are not a good match. But I believe that your statement and correct me if I'm wrong, you said if he can't communicate, then that's on him. That right? That was a statement that you made.
But no.
Hold on. It literally takes responsibility away from you.
She don't need no help. She don't need you to save her.
But
it takes the responsibility away from you, the person that's talking.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let me say this. The conversation saying that there is an imbalance. There is an imbalance,
okay,
especially in our community, and especially amongst communities where there are a prevalence of single mothers. There is that because you are the provider. You are, just like Chris said. Chris, just like you said in your right after as your disclaimer. You are the man, or your caption. You are the man you've been looking for. Hell yeah. A lot of women have been the man that they wanted. And so that's all they know, right? However, even those women, there's a man for them. Now, will they have to learn skills in order to cohabitate with a man once they have not been with one? Yes, absolutely. However, is it not possible? No, it's possible. And the man that wants them and the man that they're for and the man that is for them, they're going to work it out. And I've seen it. And I'm not speaking on conjecture. I'm telling you what I've seen happen. You have to know that what is for you, it will be for you, and it'll always be for you. Whether if the woman is too masculine, that is an issue in our community. We do face that. But if she's too masculine for you, go find the one that's not. She's just not it. And that's okay. It ain't because she make a lot of money. It's because that woman is not feminine enough for you. That's it.
Happy, that sounds good, but there ain't no man for her. That's the problem that we're having right now. But go ahead, Wes. No, bring it to Wes, because Wes has been trying to jump in. But I'm gonna come back to Happy to let her know. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, that's I definitely want to hear that, Shan. But what I wanted to, the reason I was interjecting a second ago is not to save Happy, because of all the women I know in the world, Happy is one of the women who don't need saving. Second of all,
that's true. Happy has always been able to hold her own.
Yeah.
The
just had to come
second
in.
of all, though, and I had to come in because I'm a man on the panel, and I'm hearing the same things you're hearing, but we're hearing different things, and so I don't want it to be mistaken that, Chris, what you heard is not what I heard. What I heard from her is not that it's the man if he's not matching. What I heard is the mirror effect, which is perhaps he should look into it and consider whether or not it's him, as opposed to what it sounds like from them and from you, that it is definitely the woman, which brings me back full circle to what we never dealt with, Shan, which is when you mentioned that women are the ones who need reprogramming. And my thing is, why can't we all use a little programming? And more so, here's the thing: if the world is evolving, and technology is evolving, and everyone is moving forward, that's evolution. Can be synonymous with reprogramming.
But we're
always
not.
having
Evolution has not changed. We are the same human beings we were 200 years ago. Technology is
but we are all evolving. But dating is evolving. Relationships are evolving. Women now have jobs when they didn't before, and hypergamy was not an issue. And women working in being high achievers was not an issue, because they couldn't achieve because of the glass ceiling. So now
I'm gonna have to give you a
the
class
point of
on
matter
Darwin.
is that as much as we stay the same, we are also evolving. And so what I'm saying to you is that when we talk about reprogramming, what we're saying is we want the whole entire world to go backwards and stay with us as men, to stay with our mentality. We want to reprogram everybody else and everything else to match where we once were, because we are uncomfortable with growing, and because we have fragile male egos.
So you're saying
myself
basically
included.
what's worked for centuries, what's worked for thousands of years,
hasn't worked.
You're saying in the last what we've discovered in the last 50 as a result of the proliferation of the internet and technology and cell phones, we need to just change evolution. Humans don't work like that, Wes. That's not how it works.
Let me jump in and ask you two questions, Wes, and to Wes and Happy.
It hasn't worked.
It hasn't.
Wes,
we're in 2022.
It hasn't been working.
Here's the question for Wes and Happy. Right?
No, we've grown.
So thank you. I appreciate that. So here's the question for the two of you. If it's not the man, if the woman is, more masculine and that's not the man for her, does the woman that's very masculine have any level of accountability to stop being so masculine?
Absolutely.
Does she have any responsibility?
Only after you look in the mirror, though, Chris.
Yes, and that responsibility is to
when
herself.
You're in a relationship, so you're in a relationship with a very masculine woman. So she's mirroring the energy that she's getting from the man. Is that what I'm understanding?
You need to check yourself then, Chris.
Not mirroring the energy that she's getting from the man. We all emit our own energy. However, what you pick up from whatever she's given, that's a mirror of what's coming from out of the outside of you or from the inside of you, is what I'm saying.
Okay. So my question is, since you answered that, and I appreciate that, does she have a responsibility to herself to put down her masculine energy and pick up her feminine energy. And if she does, why the fuck does she keep putting out masculine energy if she has a responsibility to herself?
Does she feel that she
She
can
doesn't.
live in her feminine energy around you?
Wait, why
Wait,
does she?
hold on. Let's go back. Hold on, because I wanted to comment so bad, Chris. I'm
On
gonna
what?
tell
On
you
my
something,
page?
Chris. No, right now.
Oh,
If
okay.
a woman ever gives you money after the date, baby, you rubbed her the wrong way. You did something to that woman
No,
that made her
no.
feel
No,
that
it was
she
before the
had
date.
to draw a very specific line.
No.
You have to be conscious also of what it is that you're giving out and how it's being received by the woman. Does the woman feel that she can be safe with you? Does the woman feel that she can be feminine with you? Does the woman feel that she can relax and just ease into her position and not pull out her wallet? If a woman ever feels like she got to pull out her wallet to the point not only she actually pulls it out, but she actually take the money out and give it to you, baby, I'm gonna tell you.
So
I wasn't born last night, child.
So here's why I would disagree. I've been on at least 7 dates in the last 6 weeks. Let's say 10. And that's 1 out of 10. 1. She is literally like the anomaly. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe it happened. There are more women that allow me to take care of them and allow me to pay for everything and don't offer me anything. And they don't ever pull out their wallet. Never. So I would agree with you if that was always the case. But she was just one of many, and I told her that was rude.
So let
each
me
person is going to teach
let's
you
not.
something different. That's all.
We don't have to talk
jump
about
in really quick. So I think though today's society, especially in the Black community, is kind of off. Like,
kind of.
well, I mean, a lot of off.
We off like a motherfucker.
Yeah. So, so when we talk about, and I'm not just speaking only women, but I'm in this context, I'm only talking about women. So you have a lot of women that may not have a father, that may not have that protection of a man, right? So by nature, they do have to take on a certain disposition. So as men, though, we gotta like get out of this idea that women have an obligation to be nice to us. Like women don't have to be sweet to us. They don't have to be nice. They don't have to, laugh at our flirtation and our advances, etc. They don't. They can put a wall up. They can put a guard up. They can put up that masculine energy that a man might not be able to give for her. She might not have a father there over her in that moment, or a brother or a man or whatever. But I think as men, sometimes we just believe that just because we are saying nice things to a woman and we're not overly aggressive and too assertive, that they just automatically have to be nice. They don't. They don't.
No, they don't. But they could just, die alone.
Cool. But men have this idea that they just have to, and it's their fault if they give us a certain energy. But like,
yeah, that was so aggressive.
To my point, though, it's just like these women, like for example, all of us on this stage, all the men on this stage, we can approach the same exact woman. She got the same level of education. She make the same amount of money, all that good stuff, and we're going to get a different response. Mm-hmm. That's just the reality.
Yeah.
So if we are to think that this woman is supposed to have the same response to every single one of us, we're the fool.
Exactly.
Like that.
No,
exactly.
The outcomes are going to be similar, though. That's the thing about it.
I disagree.
Well, no, the outcome,
and I take offense to this, not so much to you, Shan, but it's just like, yeah, I am tall. I am 6'6". If some people may think I'm handsome, so
you're offended that we call you tall?
No. I'm
just playing.
I'm offended, and it's not like a hard offense, but I'm offended that it comes off like I don't have to work. Like I had to work. I had to put in effort.
I can see that.
I had to put in effort to present well. I had to put in effort to present as intelligent or whatever. I had to put in effort to be a cowboy. That shit ain't easy. So my thing is, I enjoy I deserve everything that comes to me. And my what I'm saying is, put in the fucking effort, and you get what you deserve. You get what comes to you. Like it's like at a point, it's just like, damn, another video of men talking about how women need to do this to get in line to please men. No, put in the effort and let the shit come natural to you. That's how I see it.
Okay. The effort that you put in would not get the same results for somebody who's only 5'5" and 400 pounds.
I agree, Shan, but
okay, so then good. So then don't take offense to the fact.
Shan, you're not not you specifically, but you're not supposed to get the same women as I get. That's just the way the game goes.
Right. And the reality of it is that Shaheed is too tall for some women.
Exactly.
We all have our individual struggles and our individual challenges. Every woman doesn't want every man.
I understand that.
So
you guys,
get in where you fit in.
You almost sound like women when you. I know there's no. We know that it's never all, always some. We get that. We understand that. We understand there's never all, always some. But anyways, going back to what Shaheed, don't take offense to it. Just be happy. You know what I'm saying? When I was in high school, being my skin complexion was a curse. Today, my dark skin is a blessing, and I recognize that. I hated back then. Albie Shore and all them Chris Williams and all them light skinned niggas got all the girls and shit, Prince and all of them, and now the chocolate skin is the thing in. That's just we roll with the flow. So you a tall brother and you're good looking. Don't take offense to it. Just know that.
I hear you. What I'm saying, like if you say you drive a Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, whatever, and you guys, and I'm not saying you, I know you're not hating or nothing like that, but you got a dude on the side like Shan only get women because he drive a Porsche or whatever. He worked for that fucking Porsche.
Maybe, but there is a such thing as handsome privilege. You can't
I agree.
Then cool. Then we don't. That's almost like okay. Let's switch. Let's take it off of us.
But Shan,
super pretty women talking about I can't stand it when people tell me I got pretty privilege because I had to work to get where I am. I had to work to put this makeup on. I had to work to get that dress, and not realizing that her fucking facial, her body, her genetics, and everything is the reason why her ass didn't have to wait in line to get in the club.
That's different.
There's a real thing as pretty privilege, and there's a real thing as handsome privilege. But let's not dwell on that. We don't have to dwell on that. I got you. I got you. You work. I know you work hard, brother. I get it. My thing is this, Chris. The problem with the videos today that we played is the video on your Instagram cut the context. It cut the entire context. You spoke on context that wasn't in your video. You spoke right when the dude with the beard start telling the story about a woman that he knew that achieved everything and all she wanted was a man. But what was right before that, which is what I played just a moment ago, was where they were talking about hypergamy. They were talking about you coming with the same energy and you need a Robin instead of a Batman. That was all the context that led up to the dude's statement. And so everybody's on you, Chris, because you played a video that was only a snippet of what you should have played. You should have played the context that led up before it, because right there is where they were explaining. And for those that's up here arguing with you, explaining that he's talking about masculine energy. He's talking about the boss chick. He's saying we all the boss up here. You arguing, I think he went like this and said we're butting heads and all of this. And then the guy went into the story of his friend. So Chris, one of the biggest issues for tonight is that your Instagram clip played that piece of a story, and that piece of a story sounded like that was a woman that was out there that achieved everything right. She was very feminine and she was looking for a man. And like Shaheed said earlier, she's she's not coming off. She just says, I just want a man. And you're saying, speaking to the whole thing, well, you just need to be destitute, and you just need to have nothing, and then we'll step into the role. I wish you would have played the whole clip, or at least 30 seconds prior so people would have heard what you were actually speaking to. That's all
I
I want.
actually did though.
I didn't see it. It starts right there at the story.
So like two posts later,
Okay, we
I
don't care
put
about
on
that.
there context is everything. It's
Yeah,
actually on there.
but you didn't do it at the time, so we don't care what you
No,
cleaned
I
up.
know I didn't. Like
You
so,
mean you cleaned it up? Yeah, you may have cleaned it up, but you didn't do it when everybody flamed you. So
no, and there's a reason for that, but that's a whole nother story. Anyways, okay, so yeah, there's a reason why I did it the way I did it.
So
I happen to see the clip. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wes.
no. Go ahead. Here's what I wanted to say. So this is another point that we have to remember. Perception is everything. So while perception may not always be the reality, perception is always the reality for that particular person who's perceiving a certain things. And so I just think as men, we have got to stop discounting women's perception. They're the ones that we want. It's a woman that we want to be with. And so at some point, what she says, what she thinks matters. And I say that to say, when women hear this kind of rhetoric from men, it comes off to them as feminine. It comes off to them. It sounds like bitches talking to them. And so at the end of the day, all that really matters is that women think that we are bitches. Women think them niggas bitches because of what they sound like. And if they are trying to attract women, high value, high earning or not,
I know who that is now.
they are going to miss the mark. The point of the matter is we can't always discount what a woman is feeling. Yes, what we feel and what we're talking about is valid. It is a valid issue. But
Wes,
my point is
Wes,
simply,
we've been counting what women want for 30, 40, 50 years. And men have been ignored the entire time. What men want and what men have been asking for and what men have been demanding from women have been fucking ignored forever. We've been singing R&B songs, telling women we got goddamn movies and shows. We got an entire nationwide talk show circuit speaking to what women want, listening to them. They got entire magazines. Every fucking magazine in the world speaks to what women want. We've been singing and praising and dancing and buying flowers and doing Valentine's Day year after year after year after year for what women want. You think we ain't been listening to women? With all that listening, they turn around and at the turn of the last century, they say, niggas ain't shit and I don't need a man. What? After singing Luther Vandross and Freddie Jackson for fucking 20 years, that's the best we got? Are you kidding me? After Motown then told you guys that you are the best thing that has ever happened to us. And that you need to be exalted, even though I'm out there working. I'm out there fucking dying. I'm protecting you. I'm your 24 hours,
right.
7 day a week, 365 day a year security guard. I'm the one out there beating the streets, and I'm bringing in and raising a kid with a nigga that don't even like you no more. You turn around and tell me that I ain't shit. And so now that men are saying, well, wait a minute. Do we sound like bitches because we're telling you what we want? Then let us be bitches then. Because men have never said what they want. And now men are telling women what they want. And if that sounds bad to them because it's hurting their feelings, fuck feelings. I don't care about their feelings then.
I got you.
Because men deserve what they want just as much as women do. Why can't we match that energy? Why is it that you're telling me that when a woman is coming off masculine, which she shouldn't be doing any goddamn way, right? I don't give a fuck how she got her job. When she's coming off masculine, that I got to look in the mirror to reconsider how I'm interpreting that. What? You know how crazy that sounds to me, that I got to reconsider how I'm interpreting her masculinity? That's crazy. No, I don't need to reinterpret that. I'm going to do what Shaheed said. I'm going to go to the other pond. But as soon as I start looking at the other pond,
That's
I'm
the
a
point.
weak nigga. No, but then I got small dick energy if I'm doing that. I'm a beta if I'm doing. You know, niggas that you can't handle a strong woman if I do that. We can't win one way or the
But this is
other.
I
but no,
disagree.
no, but you can
let
win.
me
You can
let me
win.
let me
The
say
point is
this
to
as
go with
me.
what Happy is saying, which is to the woman that can't that the woman that is giving you that energy ain't your woman. Period.
Well, I
Move
wish
the
Happy
fuck
was still
on.
here.
I
No,
feel what
She
you're
listen.
is.
saying.
She is. She's sure, Shan.
Oh, she is here. She
I
left.
feel what you're saying, and
But
it's
I think she might have just
I
cut her
feel what you're
camera off.
saying. I feel what you're saying, and it's valid. When and specifically, what I'm saying is, yes, as men, we should be able to articulate what we want, and I think that's one thing that women are having a difficult problem with is that the playing field, in some regards, when it comes to relationships, is becoming to be a little bit leveled. Men are now speaking out; they've wanted men to be emotional and tune with themselves
And now
and
we
speak their
bitches,
truth
according to you.
and be talking. And now we no, and now we're doing it. No.
No,
Now
no,
we're
say it
doing
like
it,
you said
and
it a
that's
minute
leveling the
ago.
playing field. I'm saying it, but you're mischaracterizing what I'm saying. What I'm saying
I
sounds
heard that
like
niggas is
bitches
bitches.
is niggas saying exactly, and niggas are bitches when they sound and they say only that part that we heard in that snippet. Go ahead, Happy.
What I wanted to say, Shan, first of all,
Yes, Happy.
this is what I want to say.
Yes, love.
There is, I want to stress this point. There is a communication gap between men and women.
Mhm.
But what we have to understand is that we keep acting like this is a battle between men and women, and it's not. It is we are trying to find balance. We are not competing, trying to find a winner. We are trying to find balance. And that's where we're getting, that's why I didn't like the clip because it made things divisive. It's like, woman, if you do what the man has historically been told that he's supposed to do, then what's left for the man to do? Then what's your role now, historically, based on what we have been taught to believe the woman's role is, right? If you've done everything that the man has done, it's not a competition. And I think that what we're doing when we kind of push these kind of videos and these narratives is we're making the relationship as if it is a competition. And that's the kind of energy and vocabulary that makes people not work in relationships because it's not a competition ever. And I had to learn this lesson, and it was really important that you said this. I do have to take accountability. Women do have to take accountability for how they show up in relationships. That is something that needs to be learned. Those are skills. Communication skills have to be learned. But we all have masculine and feminine energy within
I
us.
agree.
And so we can all be operating in both of those energies at any given point in time, which is like back to what Wes just said, which is what a woman hears when she hears a man say, if you've accomplished this and accomplished that, you're disqualified. That sounds real feminine to me. That sounds like you don't really know how to lead me. You don't really know how to communicate with me well enough to make me submit to your leadership. It sounds like that's what it sounds like to me. But
Ooh,
that could just be me. Now,
you gonna make
in a relationship, I love my man's masculine energy. I have a lot of masculine energy sometimes, but when I'm in the presence of my man's masculine energy, ain't none of that over here. It doesn't exist because that's what we're doing. We're creating balance. But there are some times when my man is sick or when my man needs me to be the person that gets things done or what is considered that masculine energy. And guess what? I have to be able to do that as well. I have to be able to
what?
switch those
Give me an
roles.
example, Happy, because I don't think any man wants you to do anything in a masculine energy way. You can do everything you just described when I'm sick or when I need you to do something in a feminine way. What masculine? Give me an example or a scenario or or some kind of um show me what a situation where a man would need his woman to step up and be the masculine one.
Okay. I'm going to tell you where. My mother is a dentist. My father is an architect. There was a moment in time in 2008 when the economy crashed. My father lost his job, and my mom has always worked. So they was good. They household sustained. Everything was all good. However, My mom was making all the money. And technically, that's considered the masculine role. Why is that considered the masculine role in society?
But that's not
Because of
masculine energy.
That's not masculine. But go ahead. We don't mean to
providing is
interrupt you.
masculine.
Working is not masculine or
Providing for the
feminine.
whole household
Chris, let her
financially
finish.
is
Let her finish.
masculine energy.
Let her
But
finish. Go
when
ahead.
you are the person that is bringing all of the finances into the house to control for everything that runs in the house, that is having to operate in masculine energy. Now, of course, he wasn't making no money, but that the point is, when you're the one getting up every day and going to work every day, and your husband is not getting up every day and going to work every day, and you're bringing home the majority of the money that the household is run with, that's having to operate in your masculine energy. Now, that is only because societally, as time has progressed, or not even as time has progressed, since the beginning of time, based on physicality, men have been the provider in the household. But we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. And what I feel like is missing from this conversation is the fact that it's not a competition. It's what we're trying to do is create balance. And so when you say it like that, like, women, y'all all need to know, not all women need to do nothing. We all individually have our own issues that we all individually need to work on. And just like I got my issues, baby, you do too. You got your own issues that are related to the masculine and feminine energies. And what we all need to do is just try to create balance. Now, if you find yourself constantly in relationships where you can't create balance, at some point you have to say, what am I attracting? Or who am I attracting? Or what is it that I'm trying to get that I can't get, and why? And that's a question only you can answer. That ain't got nothing to do with all Black women in America. Okay. And it ain't got nothing to do, if you're a woman, with all the Black men in America. It's not all the whole races. That's what everybody needs to do. No, everybody needs to work on themselves so that we could come together and create balance. And when you need something and I have it to give to you. And when I need something that you have it to provide to me, and I can receive it when I need it, and you can receive it when you need it.
So Happy, my question to you, because you said we're trying to find balance, and Wes, you said that too. So this is a question for both of y'all, because Wes said, we're evolving. So what does that evolved relationship look like? What does that balance look like when it's all said and done and it's working correctly? What does that look like, Wes and Poppy?
Because it ain't really
You can go ahead,
evolving.
Happy,
It
unless
ain't
you.
evolution. We ain't changed as a species. We ain't
So
different
Why
creatures.
do we
we
feel
haven't
that
changed
I
as
just
a
want
species.
to hear what that looks like.
Go ahead. Happy was about to go. Go ahead, Happy.
I just want to know, why do we feel that we can answer that question so succinctly? It's not one answer. It's
Right.
whatever works for
Right.
you, as long as it works for you.
Right.
Whatever it is that God has placed on your heart, whatever your vision is in this world, that God has, whatever your purpose is, when you are achieving that purpose, when you are walking in that path, and there is balance, and you feel that you are doing what God has called you to do, and you feel that there's the person that you're with is aiding you and helping you on that journey, and you feel you are giving something to their life, and y'all feel that it is right, that's what it looks like. It looks like healthy growth and evolution. Love, which is what we're talking about here at all. We ain't That's why it's so confusing to me to hear somebody say, oh, if you have a level of education or a level of money, you ain't for me. Are you trying to love me, or are you trying to uh make me be your fucking lapdog, bruh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you can't have a conversation with me. I can't love you because I went to school. What? That sounds crazy to me. But to me, and I'm gonna tell you something, I would never even be on a date with none of them people that was on that podcast. So I don't even give a shit what they talking about. But at the same time, why would y'all be spreading this rhetoric to people that's listening? That's nuts. And then, Chris, you agree with it. I'm like, oh.
So
wait a minute.
Wes,
Wait a minute now, Happy.
I got two things, right? So to the point of the comment that Shan made about women saying that these men are weak and little dick energy if a man goes to another pond. Typically they do say that, but it's because every time a man goes and picks up his shit and goes to the other pond, he always liked to complain about what went on at the pond he was fishing at that he couldn't catch fish in.
Or he wanted to leave stuff at the other pond
Right,
and go to
right.
the other pond too at the same time.
So it's just like, yeah, if you complaining and bitching and crying about what went on over there instead of just taking your shit and going, you're gonna hear that, right? And then to my second point about that little clip, one of the reasons I didn't get into that clip is because I saw the shit all over the place. And we all know about marketing, social media games, and clickbait and all that shit. There's a reason why that clip only came out. That particular rhetoric only came out. And that's exactly why I didn't give a fuck about going deeper into the video, because typically when you have that type of rhetoric, it is more context that's being left out because it's clickbait. It's to just it's to be triggering, it's to get shit fired up, it's to start conversation and all that. But that message, to Wes's point, they want to put the most divisive, the most poisonous rhetoric out for you to feed off of, because they know majority of the people like myself, I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna go watch an 8-minute, however long video it is, because I know what it's about. I know the bullshit is trying to stir up. But there's a reason why these type of short, because the era we live in, we're in the digital era where everybody's attention span is no longer than 45 seconds to a minute. So that's why it's put out that way to you know what I mean? And that's the message that's being delivered. You can't put that message out and then expect somebody to go want to watch a however long minute video. So it's just like, I mean, I don't know.
And to your point, the guy even says it in the video. He says, "I can't wait to put this shit out." And so I would say this too, regardless of the substance the other substance and context that might have been left out of the video, for me, the fact that you know that this is harmful rhetoric, is controversial rhetoric, and you put that message out, even if you gave some other context and there was some other whatever behind it, I'm still going to grade you. I'm still going to judge you on the decision you made, that this was the most important information to disseminate. And so you can get all the smoke that you want.
Yeah, you're talking to Chris.
I'm talking to a guy, but Chris. No.
Oh wait, I thought you were talking to Chris. But so you said ignore the guy's context? I thought you were talking to Chris. I was with you. If you were talking to Chris, you talking about the guys on the podcast?
I'm talking. Well, yeah, I'm talking about the guys on the podcast, because the guy in the podcast said, he literally said, "I can't wait to put this shit out."
That was the guy that didn't speak. That was the light-skinned dude. No, but that was the light-skinned dude. Right. That was obviously the producer. That wasn't even part of the conversation. The dude with the beard and the guy that he was talking to, they gave context. So you saying ignore the context and just listen to the message that was said after that?
No. What I'm saying is the whole clip as a whole, whoever the guy who put it out for the smoke, put it out for the controversy, and understood the damage also. If you understand controversy, you also understand damage. And so my point is, I'm grouping them all together.
Okay, wait. Let me correct myself. Let me correct myself, because I like it when I'm wrong, because it's rare, right? So, Chris, where did you get that clip from? Was the clip that you got was only that clip, or did you cut out that piece?
No, it's like that.
So, I got 2 clips. So I saw that clip first.
Chris, you cut it out.
Because that clip. I'll let Wes answer for me, since he know where I got it from.
Right. So since I know where you got it from,
let's just go with that.
Yes.
Let's go with that.
Is the clip that was released or whatever? Is the clip that was released? Did it exclude the context?
Yes.
Okay.
But the first clip that I posted.
Yes, the first clip that you posted.
Yes, the first clip that I posted had no context.
Yes, I know yours did, but I'm talking about where you got it from. Did it also have the context cut out?
Yes, so it also had the context cut out.
No problem. We ain't got to go deeper. My bad. I'm wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking, I thought everywhere this was, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever this motherfucker was, had all the context, and that you, Chris, decided to shorten it up.
Nope. Everywhere
Okay.
was that 30-second, maybe 60-second clip.
No problem.
What I did is I went, watched
what
it.
Wes is saying is absolutely right. Go ahead and continue, Wes.
No, we're done with Wes talking.
Yeah, so go ahead,
We're
Chris.
done with Wes. Because he only want to be on camera so that Jackie can look at him. So.
Jackie,
That's
I got put on blast like that.
Tell Jackie I said what's up.
She in the comments. She in the comments. I mean, she the only one talking.
When I'm live, I don't go to comments. I stay out of the comments because the comments pisses me off, so I kind of stay out of them. Go ahead.
Wes, are you going to answer my question?
No.
What's the question?
What the evolved relationship looks like?
So, for me, this is the biggest point, and it's basically I feel the same way that Happy feels, which is that the relationship looks like whatever it needs to look like for those two individuals. Everybody talks about how many people there are and who's out in the world, and there's 80 billion people. The only person that matters is the person that's directly in front of you. Your communication with them, how you resonate with them, how they resonate with you, that interaction, that chemistry, that's the only thing that matters. And so to Shahid's point, if it's not working for you over here, go over there quietly. Go get.
Well, nobody's going to do that. No, nobody does. Nobody gets fucked over at Bank of America and goes to Chase quietly. Nobody has a BMW.
But this is the
nobody
thing.
buys a BMW.
Right.
The transmission goes
America,
out. All the parts go bad, and then they just go to Mercedes Benz quietly. The human nature is to complain about the problem that they had from before. So that's going to happen. Women do it, and men do it.
I don't do that.
Here's the point, brother. Here's the point. Yes, when you go to Bank of America, you go to Chase Bank, and you may not go quietly. The problem is that it's not Bank of America. That one woman, those 3 women that you dated, those 4 women are not the whole of all women. And so you're making assumptions, like these men are making assumptions, that because a woman obtains X, Y, and Z, that she must be like every other woman.
Yeah, you go talking like a woman again, Wes. Nobody says all. In our adult intelligent conversations, nobody ever means all, Wes.
I am proud. But that's the point. But you just said Bank of America. I'm using your example. Yeah, you go to bank, you go because you have an experience with Bank of America. But when I'm saying the intelligent
what he didn't say was that all banks treat you bad.
He didn't have an experience with.
He didn't say that. No, he said Bank of America. Bank of America is a corporation. Women are not a corporation. The point of the matter is that women are individuals, and your individual interaction is going to dictate what that's like. To Shahid's point, we can all go and holler at the same woman, and we're going to get a different experience. And so, am I to then go and say, okay, well, all women are like this? Because that's what you're saying when you say Bank of America.
But see,
or do you say, I'm going to go to another Bank of America because this branch treated me badly? How about that? No, we go to Chase.
Right. What happens is, a lot of people, and I'm not talking about Shan, a lot of men and women, they experience a bad teller at Bank of America. And instead of going to a new teller, they say fuck Bank of America and they want to go to Chase. So you bash Bank of America and go to Chase all because you had an experience with a bad teller. And that's
so now here we
a bad branch.
So listen,
bad branch to your point.
I got you guys. So here's the thing. So you got a bad teller. But what happens when it seems every fucking teller you go to got the same goddamn attitude? It seems to be a company culture problem. What happens when you read the reviews on Yelp about this damn bank? You go to Amazon and you read you look at the 3-star rating, the 2.5-star rating out of 5, and then next thing you know, and you come and you start realizing, damn, all the other customers are experiencing the same fucking problem that I'm experiencing. Then you start looking at the numbers. Then you start looking at the numbers, right? And you saying, well, wait a minute. Well, according to you, Wes, you don't care about stats and data. I only care about stats and data. Because without stats and data, everything would be anecdotal. I'm not going based on my experiences because my experience is quite well. But to negate statistics, to negate 8 billion people or 8 million people or the divorce rate and to negate all of that kind of stuff, is to simply say, well, you know what? my problem ain't bad, so I don't know why these
Listen.
niggas is complaining.
Right.
Listen,
So
we
Shan,
say this all the time. We talk
are you
about the
in it
common
for you?
denominator. If you're going around to, let me say this real quick, Shahid. I'm gonna give it to you, brother. If we talk about this all the time. If your experience, or if you everywhere you go, every single woman gives you the same energy and treats you the same, at some particular point, you've got to now go back to the mirror that Happy and I speak of, and examine whether or not it's you. Because as we always say in here all the time, you are the common denominator. We tell this shit to women all the time. If you're all in your relationships and men
No,
always do
no.
this and that, then you're the common denominator.
We've been
But I
telling
know I
women
hear
that
you.
recently.
But the point, but this is
We've been telling women that recently.
okay. Recently,
Men,
right? That's what.
men have
But I'm
been.
saying,
Men,
but we tell. But I'm saying specifically that we in this room, us brothers in this room, we say that to women all the time. They can go back and look at all of the videos. It comes up almost every single podcast. The point
remember,
that
I'm
I'm
the guy
making
that
though
says
is
women need
that
to change,
at some
though.
point,
So you may want
I
to
get
take
that.
it.
But all I'm
That would be a
saying,
contradiction with
no,
everybody else.
no.
With me, I'm saying women do still need to look in the mirror. And
I do, and I'm agreeing with that too. But I think we, as we started off, when we started this thing off, we all need to look in a mirror. Not just that women need to be reprogrammed. We all have some work to do. But if we're putting it on solely on women, that is a problem. But all I'm saying is, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
I know you do.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't know what the fuck I'm saying no more.
So Shan, when you interact
Trying
and
to stress
engage,
me out.
when you interact and engage with a woman, are you doing it for Shan? Or are you also thinking about Wes, Chris, and Colin as well?
When I interact with a woman, I'm thinking about Shan. But
Right.
when
So
I'm
when do the numbers matter?
no, because I care about my community.
Exactly.
So
Because I give
Shan, if
because I
that
care about
works
my
for
community,
you,
because
if that works for
I
you,
care about the countless people that email me and ask me for advice. I care about the people that call me and pay me for my time and say, Shannon, can you help me out? And I'm hearing the same story over and over and over and over and over again. It's not about Shannon's problems. It's not. I'm not here. If I go to therapist for my problems, if I needed to do that, I'm talking. The reason I have my podcast, the reason I talk like I do, the reason I'm saying it is because I'm seeing problems that's pervasive across the entire diaspora, and I'm like, God damn,
So
what
it's a
happened?
general problem.
Yeah,
So it's a general problem. So what West's theory was, we're evolving and everyone should be accepting, but the thing is, it's being met with a bunch of pushback because
it's
there
not
are a bunch
natural.
of traditional men who like things the way they are, and all this new age of we're equal, we're both balanced and things like that. It's not working for the majority. So it's just like, so yes, there's people who are accepting of this new relationship, but it's being met with more pushback, leaving slim pickings for those who are trying to adapt this new way of
It's
thinking.
not
And then what I
natural.
heard
We are out of
also
order.
was
We are
God
out of
put it,
order.
whatever God put on your heart, but God also put it in the Bible.
Right. Then they
To
throw the Bible
establish
in.
the hierarchy in the Bible. So not only in the heart, but it's in the Bible. And that is
But
man, that is God, man, woman, and we're trying to
which is
change that.
conveniently being ignored when it goes against anything that they're trying to talk about.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So we got these selective Christians out here. We got these selective people
So
out here that's picking, that's treating like a lot of this shit like a la carte, like this is a buffet. And I don't like that
so
part of the relationship stuff, but I'll take this and I'll take that. Oh, I don't want that. Oh, I
Right.
don't want to do with that. I don't like how that tastes. I'm not going, but I'll take this dessert and I'll eat this. No,
but
that's not how
that's
it
what
works.
but that's what men are doing. That's what we're
that's
doing.
exactly how it works.
Here's
No, Happy. It's not how it works. And that's why we're in the sad state of disregard we're
What
in
do
now.
you
Happy, you
mean?
believe, Happy,
That
you're under.
is exactly why we're in this conversation, because you're saying what works for you shouldn't work for everybody. Because you focus on yourself, that won't work for everybody else. Actually, it will. If we all focus on what was right for us, it would work. I
But Happy,
swear to
If it
goodness.
ain't broke, then don't try to
Happy,
fix it.
we are a colonial people. So what works for us is taught. That's where the 4 agreements. I read the 4 agreements live
That's
on my
why
page.
we have to get to ourselves, which is what you just said works for
No,
you. You said,
Happy,
Shaheed
Happy,
said, Shan, do you focus on you? What was your answer?
Happy. We
Yes.
need to work. Women aren't working on themselves to get the outcomes that they claim they want. That's the problem. So when you say, "Oh, there's a man out there," no, there ain't no one out there for her.
Do
There's
you
not.
have
She's going.
do,
That's
do,
what.
do,
You ever heard
do
of the
the
term
men that
spinster?
are working on themselves, do they have the woman they want?
Oh, men are fine. Men are men are marrying at what almost double the rate of women, with black men particularly.
I'm
Men,
always interested.
men are not out having. Let me tell you something.
Let
Men
me
are not
jump in
out
here.
here, huh?
And I'm gonna jump in here real fast.
No, because you're gonna try to end it. Keep going.
No, I won't. I'm always interested to see when a question is posed to a woman.
The what about is
response is not to focus on the question.
It's the what about is.
Is to reverse the question. Well, are men doing this? Why not just focus on the question at hand? The question was.
It wasn't a question. He made a statement that women are not to work.
Even when conversation, so that's fine. I don't have a problem being corrected. When conversation focuses on one particular aspect, well, should women do blah blah blah? I've always found it interesting, rather immature, or in my opinion, to say, "Oh, well, men need to do." I've always found that very interesting and rather immature. Anyway, go ahead, Shan. I just want to jump in and say that.
I think she was asking me, "Are men okay?" Out here,
are men okay and evolving?
We discussed that last week when we said.
I mean, we don't even have to get into the numbers on that, because I used to run something that was called, we ran lock and key out here, and then I used to do something called bait and switch. We can even look on goddamn Clubhouse when there's a shoot your shot room. It's 1,000 women in the art. Men are not having the same issues and complaints that women are having. Happy? No, they're not. Women are having what's happening right now today, 2022.
Men are not having the same issues and complaints that women are having.
I'm hearing feedback.
Women,
it is by and large, women are not getting the outcomes that they want. It's particularly women who are 30 and over, especially women who are 40 and over. Older men, and that's just because of the way. That's just nature. Like, I didn't write the rules, you know what I'm saying? But just the way it works is when 40-year-old to 50-year-old men are not having the issues in dating and mating that women 40 to 50-year-old are having. Period. That's a fact, and we can all see it. And so what I'm saying is, when we talk about you saying work on thyself and you'll get the outcomes you want, oftentimes a lot of working on thyself for women, they're getting told, I think, in my personal opinion, things that are not conducive to them getting the outcomes that they ultimately want. And so as a result, the spinster bubble is getting ready to blow up. You know what a spinster is? Everybody knows what a spinster is. So it's typically unmarried women who are beyond the age of marriage. That's what it is. So 65, 75, so on and so forth. Men aren't having that issue so much. So, and then earlier we talked about, Chris asked the question when we first started the show, if men were to, should it be all on men? If men were to get their stuff together or something to that effect, would everything in dating, huh? Yeah, if it was just men,
would the problem be going away?
Would the problem goes away? I was the only one that said no. It wouldn't be men. It would be women, because women are the nurturers. They are the ones that establish culture in our children. They are the ones that instill the way the women go, particularly who are the ones that birth our children. So for me, in my personal opinion, it is women who need to be reprogrammed. Everybody got some work to do. It's never all. I know Wes want to jump in and say not all, right? But it is women. It is women, old and young. Not so much young. I'm just, because my problem is with the young women, that we got older women who
aren't telling the
wall. They're trying to get the younger women to join the Golden Girls group, because they're living. You got mothers out here living vicariously through their daughters. You got mothers out here telling their daughters, don't worry about this until you get 30 plus years old. By the time because she waited till she got 30 plus years old, or maybe she didn't, and now she's 35, 40 years old, and she's already missed the window on having a family, because geriatric pregnancy then kicked in at age 35, and there could be issues. It's a whole lot of issues that's going on that I think women, if they were to concentrate on, as you said, working on themselves in the manner to get the outcome they want, not the manner in which society has told them. Shaheed mentioned earlier that it's natural. It's more normal. There's natural and then there's normal. Natural is hypergamy. Natural. If I did a poll right now, which I've done before, ladies, if you can find a man that came in and took care of you, covered you, and you could quit your job and you do not have to fight traffic, you do not have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get dressed, you do not have to go to lunch and take a 45-minute lunch, and you do not have to fight traffic to come back to go to daycare to pick up the kids. If you didn't have to do that, but you can just chill all day and let your man do all the work, 80% or more of women would say, I'll sign up for that. That is natural. But what's normal is go to work, girl. Work hard, work hard. Do all those, run some more reports, do some more research and development. Go to work for this man who's going to throw you away at this company after 20 years anyway. And then you'll be fine. You'll get a man when you get 40 years old. There's plenty of them. Just go pick a man off the man tree. They're nice and right, waiting on you to come at the young age of 45.
Speaking of the tree, Sean, what does that sound like?
But nobody's saying that. That's an extreme.
That's the bite of the forbidden fruit again.
But look, you're being disingenuous with
all
that.
over again. What'd you say, Wes?
What'd you say, Wes?
That's a disingenuous conversation. I'm saying that that extreme is not
I don't even like the word disingenuous. Oh, that's what's happening, Wes.
Yep, and I can attest that most women that are over 30, in between 30 and 42, that are never married, no children, they're the ones that are pressed to have children, are pressed to get married, and typically because I'm single, right, not married. When you run into them, their attitude is I gotta. I literally in the last 2 weeks, I've cut off 4 women that are never married, no kids. All of them are between 30 and 42.
Why'd you cut them off though?
For several reasons. One, I'm not interested in having any more kids. 2, if I did want to have children, my time frame to actually do that will put them outside of the time that they could actually have kids. There's one that's 32. She works for the federal government. Great job, right? 32, never married, no kids. She can't move for 5 years. She works for, I won't go into that. Anyway, can't move for 5 years. So she moves here in 5 years. That puts her at 37. We would need to date for at least a year or two before I marry. And then I would have to be married to her for at least 2 years before I give her a kid. That would put me 7 years. 7 years from now, I'll be 49.
You be me.
50. 7 years from now, I'll be 50. That'll put her at 40. I told her that's unrealistic for me to do to you, to take away your ability to have kids when you can go and meet somebody tomorrow that's 32, 31, and you guys can, in a year or two, have kids. I wouldn't want to do that to you because it's very possible that I might not be able to give you kids because I've already stopped the process. The 40-year-old, she wanted to have kids in 6 weeks. And it was 2 of them that's 40.
And it's not bashing. It's just like this is the data that's out there. This is what's happening.
Yeah, it's
data. That's why I said
that's
what I stated last week when I said the pendulum is so off kilter right now. Because in between, you have the average men who are good men, because we said there's a majority good men out there, the high earners, and then the average men. But it's just like in the middle is the average men that's being like looked over.
Forsaken.
All the women are going towards a high value man. They already got a family. They already got the family intact. So it's like they're just side pieces, or they're just like entertaining side pieces. So the women aren't liking that. They're running out of time. They see it's not going to anywhere. So then they go to the other far side of the spectrum, to the Pookie and Ray Rays, who they know have already made 6 or 7 baby mamas, but because
he's sexy,
have a child,
he's sexy, he's tall, and he got the gift of gab, and he's in the gym all the time, and he says all the right shit, even though he got 3 baby mamas.
Right, and it's like they know this, but it's just like they know they want to be impregnated, so they're either freezing their eggs, so they're going to Pookie and Ray Ray just to have a child, but then it's another broken home created. So yeah, it's like the data is there, the statistics are there. It's not working, this new system, because the high earning traditional average men aren't wanting this new system. They want the traditional systems, the nuclear family, and this whole.
Which is what we need. We need the nuclear
I just
family.
want to
But Wes, you said I
dispel.
was being disingenuous. Break it down for me.
Wes, we don't need
You're
one
right.
more comment.
I want to dispel this myth or whatever you want to call it, that someone is out there, that older women or any women are out there, mothers telling their daughters to forget men, and you can pluck a man off the man tree when you're 40, or any of this stuff is nonsense. Here's what people are telling women. People are simple. These women, these mothers, these grandmothers,
Hold on,
these
be
aunts.
specific. People, what people? Who's telling them?
Mothers.
I just said
Mothers.
these mothers, these grandmothers, these aunties, these mentors that maybe some of these young girls have. All they're telling them is simply this, based upon what you like, Shan, statistics, the numbers, how there may or may not be. I don't know the statistic, and I hear people throw it around, but how there may or may not be more women than men, or whatever, or whatever that might look like. The point is
That was
this:
just a hard
all
number.
they're saying is,
There wasn't available men and women. There's more
right,
available women than men, but just by the
right,
numbers, I was giving you that. But go ahead.
but right. But my point is simply this: this is all that's being said. Baby girl, like, get your education, start your business, go for whatever that dream is that you have. Be all that you can be. Be the best human being. Forget about the male and the female. Like, achieve all that God has in you to achieve. Be all that you can be, because if you're sitting waiting for someone or waiting for something to happen, it may never come to fruition, and you don't want to go into the next phase of your life with regrets and not being your highest self. And that's all that's being said. Nobody's telling
Yes.
women to.
You because you're missing a part in that, and I know that you're not, and you're saying that they're not saying, in addition to what you just said, which in other words is almost a process of elimination, eliminate the relationship part, right? While you're young, but you're saying they're all
No,
these women are
no, they're not.
saying, don't worry about relationships, that's going to come later. You saying that part's not being said?
Listen,
Don't
no.
concentrate on no relationship.
Listen. Like you like to say, is it being said by some people? Sure, but when the extreme example that you gave is not what's being said, but to women, that's an
Then
extreme.
you're not polling enough people, and you're not looking at the results, Wes. I don't know how many young women that you're talking to, but damn near all of the ones that I talk to, and I talk to them every day, is telling me that that's what they're saying. In
Can I
fact,
tell
I
you
talk to
what
older
they
women
saying?
that say that. Huh?
Shannon, I have to agree with Wes. And I agree with some of what you're saying as well, right? So on one hand, there is a demographic of women that will say, put that off. And those women exist. They're in every family almost. It's not even as if it's like a whole family
Mom
full of
and
women.
dad. Mm-hmm.
Mom and dad what?
You're saying the same thing. For
Well, not
fathers,
even just mom and dad, mom, grandmother, auntie,
is it
great
a
auntie,
majority?
whatever the
You
case
think it's
may be. Like that,
is it
it
a
will be
majority?
generations of women, because what happens in romantic relationships is there is no one size fits all approach. So what is being told to the woman that's being raised in a loving environment by people that want to actually prepare her for the real world is not wait for a man. It's focus on what it is that you need to do in this life. Focus on what it is that you have to do. 100% get educated, because Chris, I think you keep alluding to the fact that working is not something that is masculine, but women were not always working. Women did not always have the right to work. When women married because they had to marry, because the man had to provide for them. So that's a whole thing. We have learned, we have adapted to working, and because we have had to adapt working for so long, it has created an imbalance. But that's a whole nother story. Our families are telling us to pursue whatever it is that we are who we are.
Mm.
When we do that, now I'm gonna tell you what else is being said though. When you do that, you will be able to know what it is for you and how to nurture and sustain what it is that you're supposed to have. Because in like how I was raised, that wasn't left out of the conversation. Like, oh, wait until you old and gray. No.
You don't pick up relationship skills by learning how to do accounting. You don't pick up how to be a
by
wife.
Nope.
You
No,
don't
you
pick up
don't.
how to be a wife
That's a whole separate part of life.
by getting your
That's a
master's.
separate part of life.
And part
And
of
just
the
like
issue,
men have
Happy,
to compartmentalize, women
part
have
of the
to do as well.
part of the issue, Happy, is that parents are telling kids, particularly parents are telling their daughters, go and achieve, go and achieve, and go and achieve.
And to do
Many
so,
times they're leaving out the conversation that you can do both. You don't. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be both. And if you
That's what you
learn,
guys are leaving out of the conversation, though.
wait, let me finish. If I'm just telling you that I'm sure
they're
of this,
eliminating
right?
the part that you can do both or go ahead and get in a relationship. They're only talking about get this.
Achieve,
And
achieve.
then a huge amount of them is also saying
That's not
don't
realistic.
concentrate on
Are y'all- it's
relationship while you get this.
That's
What
not
do you
realistic. Let's
Are
wait.
y'all
Stop.
crazy?
Where did the saying,
is not
and the reason why it is realistic is because there is a saying, books before boys.
Come on, yes.
Like,
Come on, you guys.
What I'm saying, you didn't know what I was saying.
How is that
Are we talking about the black
unrealistic?
community?
What I was saying
community
was
we
not
talking about?
realistic was for any person in this lifetime right now that's raising a child, not one person is saying don't focus on your education and only focus on a relationship. That is not realistic.
Right.
That is
Exactly.
never that's
Exactly.
out. That's done. There is
That's what I'm
no
saying.
world that exists where someone is going to tell
Exactly.
any human being, woman, man, transgender, whatever, cat, that you ain't got to focus on working at all.
So wait.
And if that's the case, they going straight to the brothel. Like that's the only kind of relationship that's going on. That's that.
So
way.
then explain to me
So
why
my
white
point is they're not
Hispanic-
teaching relationship skills and they're not teaching relationship habits and teaching that you can have both. That's what I'm saying.
and they are
That's
showing
my
them
point.
that. The Asian community particularly. But go ahead.
I just don't agree with you.
I'm here in LA.
I guess my
The Asian
whole thing
community
is with
particularly.
relationships, with respect to relationships, not one person ever knew how to get it right from the start. You have to want to make a relationship work. You can learn skills as you go. You won't know how to apply those skills until you get into a relationship and are forced to use them or want to use them. What has to happen is that you have to see the value in being with the person that's in front of you. And if you don't, and if you want them to be what you expect them to be, baby, you will be disappointed almost every time. If there is a person that exists that is exactly how you want them to be, it's not real. You should run. That's not a realistic situation. They are acting. They are being who you want them to be because you want them to be that, but it is not real. And whatever is real that they're hiding, one day it will come to the surface. So you guys wanting for someone to come to you and just be this perfect person, it does not work that way.
So why do we always have to exaggerate to get our point across?
How am I exaggerating?
But that's what you've been doing. You've been
That's what y'all been doing all the time.
Here's the deal.
Listen.
Here's the deal.
And
We
who
literally
said?
could
And
probably
women that are
conversation is about y'all exaggerate.
Wessel, we will literally could probably toss this whole conversation on its head a million different ways. The bottom line to this particular conversation is this.
Colin want to punch you right now.
Right. We all have work to do. We all have things that we need to fix. Our community, the Black community, is torn apart, and it is all of our responsibilities, collective responsibilities, to take it from where it is in this broken phase and fix it and get it back together. Happy, I want to thank you for coming to ask about
No. I got to
come back next week.
I'm going to interject.
Absolutely. You have your yes, you're doing your closing comments.
the most important thing that women need to realize is that the importance of being under the headship of a black man and the protection of a black man. Black women are the least protected because they are no longer under the headship and protection of black men.
They're not covered. We're
There's
out
no
of
more
order.
there's no more nuclear family. Yeah, y'all not covered. So it's just like that is the most important thing. And Happy, why you was making your point, you said it. You said, well, we were forced to stay at home and things like that. And it's just like we have the family. So it's like that's exactly what worked back in the 1920s, 30s during segregation. We was the most happily married, have a strong nuclear family. That's how we was able to build a Black Wall Street. They've effectively taken the black man out of the home. They have empowered women to, yes, go get your high-powered job and things like that. And I'm sure you've heard of the Great Resignation, right?
They sold it to you.
The Great Resignation.
That's
like white women in droves are returning back to their husbands, like working for their husbands, they're going back into the home. So who's occupying the high-paying job?
That's a fact. I know plenty of white women that once they get married and they've been married for 2 years, they typically have their first child. And I can't tell you, I probably would say 80% of my clients from 2016 to 2015 to 2020, over a span of 5 years, 80% of my clients that were white, that were married, would say we've been married 2 years and I'm about to quit my job.
I'm out this rat race. I'm out the rat race.
And they will be at home. Wes, closing comments. What you got?
So what needs to be taught at the young age, what aunties, grandmas need to be teaching is finding a man, finding a husband. That is what needs to be taught, because once again, that nuclear family that they have effectively dismantled is they took the man out of the household.
And that is what is going to sustain her into her old age. When she's out of the workforce and got another 40 years left, what is going to carry her? A nuclear family. So everybody, it's not that pension. It's not that now they don't give pensions away no more. Ain't no more fucking retirement checks. It's a 401k.
So it's just like, so you have the condo, you have the accomplishments and things like that. But at the end of the day, it's just like, where's your family? Where's your legacy? So it's just like, you're the least protected. I lost my point, but I was, I think I know
said it. You nailed it. You nailed it. You just better nail it again.
That's what has to be taught. That is the wealth generation. That is the transfer of wealth right there. It starts with getting the man early, not go get your education, because all that's doing is just putting you in an institution to go make somebody else money, or you make yourself money, but it's just like you're still left out here with all these accomplishments and all this money, but no family, no nuclear family intact. So that's what needs to be taught.
Wes, closing comments. What you got?
Or you go out there and you get your education and you make your money, and then you attract the man who can appreciate the value in who you are as a woman.
How's that working out for him, Wes?
It's working out for some fine, and it's working out for some of them bad. Hey, how's it working out for some of us men? I'm sitting here tonight.
I'm talking to the majority.
I am sitting here tonight alone talking to you Negroes instead of being with someone. So it ain't working out for the men so well either.
Whoa.
So we got to change something.
We're not going to use this show as an anomaly. You here every damn Thursday. Bye. That's it for you. All right. Shaheed, closing comments.
Wait. Sign language just like women do.
He said, I'm sitting here with y'all. You are here with us every damn Thursday.
That's what he do.
Exactly. Wait a minute. Wait, if you are telling us that you want to leave, we can find you a replacement.
He Obi-Wan Kenobi. He says everything. You talking about Panda Bear. This nigga knows how to pander. Anyways, go ahead.
No, Wes, you done. You done. You got your 30 seconds of fame. Shaheed, closing comments.
I'm going to finish my statement. The point of the matter, though, is that we and Colin, I agree with you, brother. I understand where you're coming from, and I love your heart when it comes to that.
Your degree.
But we can't leave some of the context out. It's not about to a degree, but there's context we're leaving out. We're leaving out the context that what happened is women actually in the whatever years it was, 30s, 40s, 20s, whatever it was, when there was World War II, I believe it was, women had to be in the workplace because men were off to war, black men included. maybe black women didn't have
Colin,
the
bring it back.
jobs and the
Bring it back.
opportunities that women had, that all women had. But the point of the matter is that women got into the workforce, and guess what they found? They found happiness. They found purpose. They found
Women are the most unhappy than you gotta be kidding me. West
they
saying
found
shit. Women are the most medicated, fucking Prozac, unhappy than they've
West.
ever
What am I
been in the
hearing?
history of the human race.
What am I hearing? Wait, what am I hearing? I'm
Shaheed,
hearing
they
close
found
the comment.
in the
happiness.
background.
Wes, did you just say that women went to work and found happiness? Did you say that? Did that come out your mouth just
Yes.
now? That women found
Yes, and
9
if you
to
and if
5.
you ask,
Women
wait,
found
wait,
9
wait, wait.
to 5. Get your ass up early in the morning and go out there and dig a ditch.
No,
do this work and work for that man, and they found happiness
See,
in that. Are you serious, bro?
This is but this is though when you make these calculations like, oh, and they was digging a ditch, and women, listen, women find happiness even today in fulfillment in their job. Every job
Wes,
isn't about
Women
going
are
and
the
digging a
least
ditch or
happy.
doing something
Women
that
are the
she's
least
unhappy
happy
with.
today. Women
West.
are the least happy today.
Yeah. Yo,
West.
I
ask
don't know
women.
what
There's
Wes
women
is
right
West.
here. There's a
because
woman on
West.
this shit
stage.
is fucking
Ask her
crazy.
does she find
West, please look at the
happy,
screen.
happy.
This
Do you
lady
find
Bethany
any?
said.
Self-actualization. Self-actualization.
Bethany said, "I'm a stay-at-home wife and mom, and I love
When
it."
a person
Right.
gets
And for every woman that's
self-actualized, that is
go ahead.
when they find happiness. And so it ain't about the job, like if it's a 9 to 5 job or not. And I don't agree that all women are unhappy. That's just conjecture. When a person can be self-actualized, that is when they find happiness. So it goes all the way back to my basis foundation point. You gotta know who you are, so you know what you have to offer another person. If being at a 9 to 5 every day makes a woman happy, that's what makes her happy. And there's gonna be a man that could be like, I need a woman that's gone from 9 to 5, shit, because I got stuff to do during 9 to 5. Okay. There's gonna be a man that's gonna be like, no, I need my woman at home, cleaning the crib, cooking them meals. It's somebody for everybody, for what you want. You have to learn how to attract what it is that you want. And I'm gonna tell y'all where y'all going wrong at. While you telling what they doing wrong, that's where you going wrong at. Okay. That is just all the way wrong. Do women and men both need to be socialized to learn how to be in relationships?
Who is
yes.
JW?
That's Jackie. That's Jackie Williams.
Not a sharp experience. There's no way around it.
Single ass. That's Jackie old single can't get a man ass. Okay, yeah, I expect that from her.
No, she said that she has no problem with dating.
They all say they don't have a problem with dating. They all say that, Chris.
I know they do.
Once they hit the wall and they in no man's land, they act like they got options like a motherfucker.
Can I tell y'all something for real? I don't want to be married. Cause what the fuck is going on? Cause people sharing. Cause I don't feel that you really believe everything you've said tonight. So I
believe every bit of it.
That's why I've been able to really just keep it all together.
Thank you, Happy.
What the hell is going on?
Happy, come back next week and
look. I got
come back next week.
Y'all talking about confirmation bias. Woo!
Shaheed,
I'm speaking to what is happening in real time in reality. I don't care about feelings. I don't care about feel good. And I don't talk about anecdotal stuff. I talk about what's actually happening. I don't like what I'm saying, but I do believe it. I don't like how we're looking, but when Colin speaks about the nuclear family, I have a whole show called The Nuclear Family and how it's gone and how we got women out here saying nuclear family is not necessary. All you got to do is have a family that loves you. I grew up with all my aunties and my mama, no men around whatsoever, and that's all that's necessary. That is crazy. That's what's being sold.
That is crazy. 100%. And we do need the nuclear family. I am not.
And then you got people like Jackie in here talking about shit. Sounds like the revised version of Mr. See, it's that. But that's what we call sign language. See, it's shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. And far too often, you get people that say silly shit like that other women are listening to, and then they fall for that. But that's the golden girl thing that I'm talking about. So so apparently I'm gonna go back and look at the chat. She's probably saying all kind of stupid shit up in there. Stuff like that.
She said, "Who has men in dating? I have options, my sweet."
Of course they do. Of course they do. Right?
Hey, listen. Here's the thing that I feel, right, and I really want to bring it to a close, right.
Let's
If
take
you
this
have
thing into
options,
overtime.
yeah, we're not gonna keep doing that. If you have options, one of those
Why do you?
options should pick you and take you off the market.
But right.
That's number one. Number two, Shahid, tell us where we can find you and close.
Like
Give us your closing comments.
Man, y'all can find me right here next week, same time, same everything. Shahid Muhammad, I'm up.
Wes, where can they? I mean, not Wes. Shan, where can they find you?
Los Angeles, California, on the best coast. I appreciate everybody being here. You guys can also find me on my podcast where I go live every day, talking about
Worship.
entrepreneurships and relationships. I speak on this. I talk to people. I hear from the young and the old, both men and women, married and single, dating, mating, engaged. I talk to. I'm hearing. I'm hearing it more now than I ever have before because of the position that I'm in. So that when women ain't happy going to work, they don't want to go to work. Who wants to? The men like to work. Workaholic. Who when you hear the term workaholic, who the first thing pops in your head? Men. Right? Women are not happy today. They're the most unhappy they've ever been in the history of the human race. Even though they're the most free, they're the most liberated, and they have the most and feminism have given them all the freedoms and stuff that they need. Somehow something's wrong. I spoke about, everybody talking about they want to go back to the 1950s. I don't even want to do that. I know we're doing our close because I could talk all night on this shit. Just catch me at my podcast or catch me on my Instagram or catch me wherever because I'm Shannon Ross everywhere. I appreciate you guys tapping in. Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you, Bethany. Thank you, Bethany. She posted something up there. I'm jumping right back in. Bethany said she got married. Bethany said she did both. She went to school. She got her degree. Bethany said she got 2 kids and she was married and all her girls was married before age 30. Bethany, please start selling that formula. Bethany is currently in a nuclear family. Nuclear family is what the Black community needs. Period. The Black community needs a nuclear family. Bethany is in one. Bethany, and she did all that by age. You can do both. My girls and I got our degree in accounting. Some of us got our masters in CPA. We all got married before 30 and have 2 kids currently. Bethany, please package that up and sell it because that's what's necessary. Appreciate you for that.
Mr. Hardeman, where can they find you?
Y'all can find me here every Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Time. But this is a great conversation. These are uncomfortable conversations, but much needed conversations. Because me personally, I'm a solutions-oriented guy. So it's just like we already know what the problems are. So I'm done hearing about brutality, this, racism, that. It's just like we know what the problems are. What are the solutions? So, and I'm used to inserting myself in difficult and uncomfortable situations because it's just like I can't sit around and just like let nonsense happen. I can't sit and let wrong happen. So
why do we say that? Why do we say what are the solutions? We be giving the solutions. Chris gives the solutions. Right. Shahid gives solutions. Wes, you give solutions. I wonder why people say that all the time. We got the solutions. We know we know what needs to be done. We all talk about what needs to be done. I want people to stop saying we need to find solutions and start saying, let's start implementing these goddamn solutions that we know we need to do. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, bro.
No, good. That's good. I stand corrected. So yes, we need to implement these solutions because we definitely know what the solutions are. We're talking about them, but we just need to implement them. So it's these uncomfortable conversations that we need to have because we need to realize we need to have a reality check of where we are, where we stand, and where we need to go. So always glad to have these conversations. I could have talked until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. This got me animated. It's like I'm fully woke.
Chris got to go to bed.
Conversations, but go ahead, Wes.
Wesley.
No, Wes texting to go make his hookup.
What
so he can take his shirt off and go mud wrestling.
Wes Stewart, Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Yeah, these conversations are uncomfortable, but they need to be had. And what I do know at the end of the day is that every last one of us has a heart for people and relationships and the Black community. So, gentlemen, still, it is all love. Hats off to you. What?
Yes.
See,
And thank you,
I,
Happy, for joining. We appreciate
why
that.
Happy? See, you know what? Now I'm sad though, because see, Happy just put up love y'all, great conversation. But then Happy said that she's like married. I need Happy married. I need like when like what I don't like the discouragement, and I know she's probably saying that tongue in cheek, or maybe she's for real about it. But you know, just saying that, no, that's what's necessary. We need Happy with a solid man. Where's Happy? What city? Does anybody know where Happy lives? Is she in
Hold
New
on.
York? Is she in
Put it in
Florida?
the chat. Put it in the
Wherever
chat,
Happy
Happy.
is, wherever Happy is, she needs. I want her to find a solid man that is perfect for her, where them two can either get married or call it long-term relationship, do whatever I don't give a fuck about paperwork, but I need
Chicago. She's
we
in
need that.
Chicago.
That
She's
is she in Chi-Town. She needs to find one of them sharp dressing brothers in Chi-Town and make that connection, because that's that's the solution. So don't listen to what I'm saying, because I know my delivery ain't nice. I'm not nice. I think I said something that she was like, "Damn, Shan, you said." I don't even know what I said. But whatever it is, the nice talk is over with. The sugarcoating, the nice shit, the R&B songs, them days is over with. Now we talking to people about, and we saying it the way they need to say it so we can shake and wake people up. And that's what's happening. People are getting woken up and shaken up, and the dynamic is changing. And hopefully, as a result of making people uncomfortable, talking about shit that people didn't want to hear. Because the reality is, I talk to more older women than I talk to younger women. And the things that I'm hearing from older women is that they're not getting what they always thought they were going to get, what they were sold that they were going to get in terms of dating and mating, and that they're worried about when they get 55 instead of 45 today, when they get 65, when they turn into a spinster. Do they have children that's going to take care of them? Do they have a man that's going to feed her fucking medication and her high blood pressure, and is going to give her goddamn insulin shots? You know, that's what the problem is. And so people ain't looking at the future, but the future's coming whether we like it or not. And if we don't connect with each other, then what are we going to do? Be a fucking nation of Black people that's all living in an apartment by ourselves? Is it going to be a situation where women are creating harems and women are just shacking up and living and moving in together? Is that what's necessary? We're gonna have is we gonna create more Pookie and Ray Rays and a bunch of men that's having. I talked to somebody whose father today has 22 kids. One man, 22 kids. He fathered 22 children with 9 women. We don't need that no more. So my point is, I don't want Happy saying I'm worried, fuck, like no more or I ain't worried about marriage. No, I want Happy to be happy about marriage, or happy about that man she's going to ride into her 60s and her 70s and her 80s and her 90s with. That's what I'm looking for. And that's the reason I talk like I talk, because people are running blind to how their feelings are being hurt by the shit that I'm saying, and not paying attention to the outcomes and the reality and the numbers of how shit is getting ready to come in the next 20 and 30 years. It's on you, Chris.
Also, we need to set aside our differences with our people in the diaspora, our brothers and sisters, Kenya, Somalia, Nigerians, because we see what happened even with Ukraine and Russia. It's like we are literally being left behind. Now, Black people are being scattered and left off trains and things like that. That's always going to happen anywhere across the world, because nobody respects and values us. So it's just like all these differences we got with our Nigerian brothers and sisters and people across the way. We have resources, we have banks. So it's just like Nigerians are good. All these other nationalities are good because like they got resources. So when they come over here in America, they can get set up in 2-3 weeks because they have resources. So not only do we need to get it together with ourselves over here, but we need to start getting it together with our people over there also, because at the end of the day, we are all we have, and there's strength in numbers. We have the economic power. So yeah, we got to start somewhere. More solutions. I'm done for real now, Chris.
That's cool. This is where you find me, the real_Chris Davis. What an amazing conversation. I still think the funniest part of today's conversation was is not pretty privilege, but height privilege.
Handsome.
And my boy saying that he worked hard to get 6'5". He ate all his Wheaties.
That ain't what he said. That ain't what he said.
My guy said, I work hard to get 6'5". You understand? Hey, and you know how I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is no shade. I don't think he conceded, but I know Shaheed know that he that shit. I asked Shaheed to do a drop for us. This nigga hit me with one of these.
He gonna tell you. He gonna tell you he worked hard for them waves.
He came with this. He came with the look. I'm gonna make you seasick. He hit him with the little shimmy. I said, "Hey, you know what? Hey, that's my guy over there."
He's the C word, but it ain't conceited. He's confident.
Hey, look. In all seriousness,
I know
man,
a lot of 6'6" dummies out there, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact, and that's one thing that I can appreciate, the fact that you bring so much value for a gentleman and an athlete, and you're not just you're not just athletic, you're not just tall, you're wise. You know what I mean? And to surround yourselves with gentlemen and books and just and just everything, you make it worthwhile coming every week. I mean, all of you do. Just FYI. Shannon's a little hard, but guess what? I'll be honest with you. Sometimes some people need to hear the firm masculine voice, because it literally is what they need to kind of slap them into what they need to be doing. To consciousness. And the funny thing is, and I haven't mentioned her in a while, but April Mason said the exact same thing. She said one of the reasons why she stopped doing the teaching dating to women is because she had to get on them and she had to be more firm. And she said, I don't want to do that. She said, I'm going to coach men because she can talk to a man in a soft way and the man will just listen. And I was just like, that's actually true. Because, if my woman said, hey, baby, I just, I need us to do this. I'm like, okay. You know what I mean?
Don't do that again. Don't ever do that again, Chris.
No.
You could just tell us. We'll get it.
Right. We believe you. We believe you.
You're funny. Anyways, y'all have an amazing night. Y'all make sure y'all go and support this channel by sharing it on your page and sharing it on your social media. Make sure you take a screenshot and post it on wherever you are following us. I'm the real Chris Davis on Instagram and on I think all other social media. Y'all have an amazing evening. We out.
Yo.
And another thing, I'm getting tired of these.
Wes just be saying shit.
Man.
Wes just be saying shit.
Wes knows what
you sound like you read straight out of the sisterhood book.
Listen, I don't give a damn what it sounds like.
Are you an honorary member of that motherfucking club? Oh, God damn,
I hope that I am. Listen, I have a heart for people who have a different experience than me. And that even means as a man, I practice empathy. And so as much as I would love for a woman,
you can't empathize as a man for women, Wes. You're not a woman. You can't empathize with them.
No, that's like saying.
You can sympathize.
You can sympathize, not empathize.
You can't empathize. That's the whole point of empathy. Is
no,
to be
you
able
can't.
To,
you don't get to read the fine shit, Wes, to make you feel good. There
wait,
you go.
Have you looked up the definition of empathy? Yo, you don't know the definition. So here's the point. I'm glad you said that. The emotional filter. This is what emotional intelligence is. Look up the word empath. Look up the word empathy. Understand the definition of it. Empathy is being able to understand and appreciate while you can't feel it exactly.
How? If you
The
haven't
experience
experienced
of
it.
someone else. Exactly. The fact that you dudes cannot clearly don't have empathy. The fact that you can't imagine how you can even have
Wes,
empathy for someone and their experience is the problem. That's the problem.
Wes,
That's next Thursday's topic.
Wes,
Oh, he hot.
Men
He
don't
hot.
have empathy. Where can they get some?
Wes. Unless
Yeah.
you're a woman that became a man, don't tell me that you can empathize with something that you have experienced. Empathy is usually where you can understand where somebody came from. I get it, but it has to come from a place. Most empathy, it has to come from a place of experience.
No, that's absolutely the opposite of empathy. Empathy, that's wrong. Empathy is being able to understand and empathize. I can't use another word with someone, even if you haven't had their empathy. I mean, their experience.
Okay, if you feel that you can
Sympathizing
vicariously live,
because you've had the same.
if you feel that you can vicariously live through a woman, then fine. All right.
So we discover what the problem is. I get it. It's empathy. It's the lack of empathy because y'all don't even know what it is.
No, that ain't the problem. The problem is, Wes, that you think that women is happy going to work. You think that women is, you feel that you can empathize with women because you can live vicariously through women, which is crazy as fuck. But we'll have to get into words. We'll have to talk about that. We'll have to talk about definitions tonight because But what we can talk about is how you feel that women
I know
are happier today than yesterday.
In their job.
You got the last 10 seconds, Wes. You got the last 10 seconds.
And the last 10 seconds is F all you.
Jackie got so many men that she's still on here watching Wes.
Oh my God. That's who JW is, huh?
Yes.
We still live.